Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Welcome. It is I. It is he. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Of course, I am with my co-host, as always, Righteous Reg. What's going on, bro?
In the building, it's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Saturday morning. It's Grapsody Podcast. It's Philip Lindsey. It's Righteous Reg. It's a day. It's a week. It's a month. It's a year. It's 2024. You know what time it is, Phil. I don't know. What do you want me to say? It's been a journey. Always. There's a lot going on. A lot of personal extracurriculars that just keep happening like a roller coaster. So shout out to the people out there living life. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot of adulting going on. A lot of stuff that comes with that that's annoying. Been a pretty frustrating week in some ways for me. I'm sure if you follow me, some people are like, man, this guy's getting kind of snippy with folks. I was like, people are being a little annoying, Is what it is.
Just a little bit.
People are being a bit annoying, but I was also
just a little bit
annoyed at other things. So it was compounded by the fact that I was irritated with other things. And so, yeah, it felt like anytime anything was done, I was just like, all right, man. But, I hate to be one of those guys that gets on their podcast and doesn't actually talk about wrestling and talks about gossip and all these other things, because who possibly does that?
Who would do that? Who would hop on a podcast multiple times and do a series of gossiping?
We're not on that, man.
You don't want to gossip? You ain't gonna gossip?
Nah, man. I would rather get on and talk about wrestling that I enjoy and have conversation with my guy. Sorry, my phone is playing music for some reason.
Okay.
But yeah, we got the end of the Olympics last week. That was it's a rocky landing for basketball, but we got to the finish line. Boy, France wanted it, man. Both France teams, women's and men's teams, they wanted it. I continue to say that Victor Wembanyama is going to be a problem.
Dude, that kid is insane. His reach, he got threes. Like when you're that tall and you can hit threes so clean and it looks like you've been doing this since you were born, that guy's going to be, in 2-3 years, he's going to be insane. Unstoppable.
Yeah. He's going to be a problem. But France played really well. All of the jokes people were getting off at my man that looked like Ben Wallace were hilarious. People calling him Beignet Wallace.
Beignet Wallace killed me.
Baguette Ben Wallace on Twitter was hilarious. He got out there and dunked on LeBron. That was one of the highlights of the game. Also very funny, the reactions to that.
Oh my God.
People talked about let's scrub the footage. But it was looking a little rough for us. But man, then Steph turned into Steph. It was all over, man.
I'm thinking about it now, and I haven't seen that video or picture all week. This guy LeBron's good, man. I swear to God. Like, usually in this case, we see that picture. We see that. I have not seen that.
It had its moment. They were like, okay, that's enough of that. Well, I think the thing that helped him is that Curry became the talking point for the rest of the Olympics after he went nuts at the end of the game.
He did.
When I watched that first 3 go in, I was like, no, don't do him like that. Then he hit that second one. I was like, oh, no, it's over. He's smelling blood. I remember I watched him in that Boston series where he won his 4th ring. And I was getting flashbacks to that when he hit that second 3. I was like, oh, yeah, it's over. He's He's putting him on his back now. It's over.
When he hit the double team 3, I was like, oh, we're cooking now. It's Steph.
Bro.
Like we are back to like this is prime, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, Steph. He's in that mode.
Bro. What first of all, hit three threes in a row. And so I thought it was done there. And so he passed out because they were coming and they were forcing him off the line before he even got up there. They was picking him up before he got to the arc. They doubled him and he threw the ball off to Durant. I thought he wasn't getting that ball back. Durant gave it back and he pulled that 3 up over 2 guys. And I said, no.
Durant and LeBron James were at the top, unguarded. And he
wide open, bro.
Still took the shot and hit it. That's like, okay, this guy
stepped right into that shot and hit it all net on both of those guys. I was like, this guy, listen, man. I know it's cool to do the debates, but guy's one of the top 10 players of all time. I'm just gonna say it. He's one of the top 10 players of all time. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen an Olympic performance like that. Just amazing.
The homie Chi-Town Spurs says, our first super chat of the day says, Reg, is this what supporting the Warriors was like for the last decade? No wonder y'all are so annoying. Yeah, when your star player can do that and like he is humble, but also not humble at all at the same time, it's like, yo, yeah, no wonder we could walk around being so annoying, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. Yeah, this is exactly what it's like.
Bro. This definitely felt like that. I'm telling you, a lot of this felt like that Boston series when he got charged up and you could see Draymond sitting in the stands and he turned to Draymond and was like, nah, don't worry about me.
Yeah,
don't worry about me. I was like, oh, he's out of here. It's over. It's over, man.
Yeah, when he started talking to Draymond on the sidelines, I was like, oh, we're out of here. We're good. We're good here.
Yeah, nah. Love to see it. I don't have high hopes for a Warriors season next year. Yeah. So this looks like the best we're gonna get out of that. Seeing those guys win together, seeing Steph turn into that guy on international stage, and people had no choice but to give him his credit. I was like, man, look, we're gonna have the real serious conversations about him when he's retired, and people can really appreciate him for what he did. But what a performance! Again, never seen anything like that. That was unreal.
As after the Olympics, proud American, waving my American flag. I'm not worried about the season because, as Noah Lyles would say, we are now world champions, so it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. We're world champ. You said you have to be the top of the top. The world, yeah, we beat the world. So what do you want to say?
Technically, you know, they didn't win the FIBA championship. So if you want to get into technicalities, like Noah,
you on Noah's side, huh?
No, but yeah, that meme of all of the guys that had the Steph effect and them like sitting down with their hands in their face and their hands after the game, and they had Wemby out there shedding some tears. I was like, yeah, this guy will do that to you, man.
Yeah, there's been the greatest players of all time in that same situation of like, this little light-skinned fool did this to us again. And he's how? Like, you know what I mean? Every time he does it, it's like, how did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like technical, but also effortless and easy. Like, it's so many things when he makes an amazing 3. It's like he practices this, but then also it's like sometimes it feels like he's just going for it,
Yeah, nah, he's that guy's on a different level, man. And I almost get offended when people are like, man, he's the best shooter ever. Because no, he's not just one of the best shooters ever. He's one of the best point guards we've ever seen.
Right.
The way he was rebounding in that game, nah, man, he
spent most of the Olympics playing defense. Like he wasn't even being Steph.
Bro. Yeah, what a performance. The women also won their game. Very ugly win for the women. It went all the way down to the wire. France played them very tough, but they picked up the win too. I believe they're at 8 in a row gold medals for the women, which is incredible.
USA. Now the women were out there balling too. They had some tough games, but like they were all like gritty and like rough, and like sometimes that's how basketball has to be. Sometimes you got to really earn it, and that's what the Olympics felt like.
Yeah, a lot of fun, but yeah. Before we get into some more stuff, a little podcast business. We're gonna have Sat from Wrestle Talk on next week.
Yes,
getting into All In London. I think he's going. So It'd be cool to have somebody to preview the show that's also going to show.
We love having Mandem on the pod, and Stat's one of our favorite Mandems out there. He's going to be out there at All In. Big week next week. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Stat's a great dude, man. Very funny guy, man. Looking forward to having him on. I also tweeted, if you did not see, we're discussing doing a meetup sometime next year, possibly Vegas. And now we might have to consider Texas because of a big announcement that happened this week.
Let's get into it, Phil, because I was thinking about it actually. Driving yesterday, I was okay. Like Phil and I legit had just started getting into maybe not deep discussions, but like some good talks about maybe doing a Grapsody meetup in Vegas next year. We have a lot of connections to Vegas. I have cousins that live there. Like it felt good. And then AEW, Tony Khan, all the homies announced the other day that next year in July 12th, I think is the date, Texas All In is coming to Texas. And it's now been branded Y'all In, Phil.
Yeah, I feel like that one person made that Y'all In joke and then it became everywhere. And I'm like, okay, all right, we've made the joke. It's done. It's happened.
But yeah, I might be like in Texas more than I'll be like in Vegas. I don't know. What you think?
Yeah, I definitely want to do Texas for All In. I have not been to an All In since the very first one that was here. I've been wanting to go to London to go to All In, but just couldn't make the funds match. And I still also have to get my passport renewed. It was one of many things I didn't do during the pandemic, and I have been putting it off, and I've looked around, and that was 4 years ago, and I still have not renewed my passport. I need to do that.
That's one of those annoying, knowing things you know you have to do. Like, I gotta do that just because you know it's gonna like take a day and time and all that.
You gotta do that whole form and then get the new ID picture and stuff for it. Because at least with your ID and your license, they force you to do it. It's like, hey, it expires this date. You have to go and do it. With the passport, you can keep procrastinating.
Do whatever you want. You don't have to.
This is where we are, and this is why 4 years have passed, and I still have not renewed it.
My passport is still funny because I don't have dreads on it, so it's like I should probably get it because I'm sure they look at it and they're like, "Who is this fool on here?" But like, spend some time.
Yeah, but that sounds like it is going to be a great weekend to do a meetup, possibly.
I think so.
Texas is a wrestling state.
It is. Got a lot of homies in Texas.
Last time we were together, actually, first time we were together was in Texas. It was in Dallas, Texas for WrestleMania weekend.
That's right.
So it does make sense for us to kind of get back together and do this thing again, possibly do a meetup. So, we
do have a big connection. One of our favorite matches of all time, the ROH Briscoes versus FTR. The three of us with our homie Will Washington watched it together. That's one of my favorite memories.
Yeah, we were in the building.
Shout out to Texas. Yeah, I think Texas is the move, honestly. We got a lot of connections to Texas.
Yeah, might make it happen. But yeah, that announcement was pretty huge. They announced that they will be at the Global Life Center, stadium, whatever it is. I want to call it arena, but it's a stadium. But this is dope. I saw people immediately doing they're not going to do Wembley. That means they can't sell out Wembley again. Now, before we get into that, which I can't believe this is a thing worth addressing, but it's worth addressing. It doesn't seem like they're moving Wembley because they can't sell out that arena. They were never going to reach the peak of selling it out the first time and doing big numbers. Once you do that big number, you can only go down from there. The hype is only going to go down. Expectations are going to go up and all these other things. So you weren't gonna sell the same amount of tickets as you did the first time, but you still sold 50,000 seats to this.
Dog,
that's a lot of seats.
Just about to say that. Yesterday I looked at WrestleTix and I'm like, bro, they sold 50,000 tickets. What? Like, there's all this doom and gloom in there, all this talk and all this. I'm like, bro, they sold 50,000 tickets.
50,000 tickets.
And like 40 of them before they had even announced a match, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, 50,000 seats for a international show. But also seems like it might have been some kind of scheduling conflict, because even them moving it to July, it seems like it was maybe some kind of scheduling conflict. But either way, Texas is a state that has been begging for an AEW pay-per-view, so it also makes sense that they're getting the first big stadium show.
They deserve it. Because
And,
they've been fighting.
yeah.
Every time I talk to somebody from Texas or AEW and Texas is in the same conversation, it's always when we get in the pay-per-view, when we get in the pay-per-view. Here you guys go.
Yeah, they're finally getting it, and I think it's dope. Everything around it, the fact that they've been doing the kind of residency or at the Arlington anyway for Ring of Honor and Collision.
It's almost an appetizer.
And that, that was part of the deal to get the big stadium show. So I think all of that is great. Seems like good business. I immediately was excited looking at the press conference and looking at all the people there. Swerve was front and center. Mercedes, Athena, Thunder Rosa. I was just like, it's looking very diverse up there, looking like a lot of black champions up there. It's great to see that. I don't know if that means that Athena will be up on the main roster by next year, but I certainly hope that that's what this means. And that also immediately got me excited. But yeah, I mean, just the idea of them getting the big stadium show in the U.S. and I get a chance to go, very excited about that.
Yeah, super stoked that it won't be as hard as a battle to get to All In, because like same as Phil, I've been trying to get to London too, but it costs money to get to London. So to get into Texas, much easier. There's a lot of things in Texas, a lot technology and geographical. It works a lot for me. But yeah, I liked all the people that were there too. There were some great pictures that came out of this. Swerve, Athena, and Mercedes with their titles. I was like, wow.
On the field, that was dope.
Wow, we're making a lot of money over here. But yeah, just the a lot, even like the connections to that of like they picked these people to represent this big show that's gonna come next year. Like it's a good sign. The people that weren't there representing for the company, also some glaring things happening. It was just like super interesting. I do like they announced it so far out. They're giving people a chance to get prepared for it. They're giving people a chance to get excited about it. All In. It's funny about this year's All In because I was just watching on the news. Taylor Swift is there in Wembley this week. I don't know how many shows. I don't know how many shows she's doing, but the news was saying that people are already lined up and the show's not for like 3 or 4 days. I'm like, yo, these Swifties are insane. I remember there was some talk about All In this year and Taylor Swift stuff, and I saw that like, no, Taylor Swift fans do not fuck around. So yeah, I'm sure next year that Wembley's a huge place. Also, people forget, and you can't just like book it 3 years. You can't book it many years in a row because like it's booked by other bands and venues and things previously,
Yeah, Wembley is definitely booked and busy, so that's why it says possibly scheduling conflicts. But according to Tony, All In will be back in London in 2026. So, I mean, I don't think that this is anything people should worry about. But of course, anything that comes out is an attempt to make it into gloom and doom. People are still trying to make the TV deal a gloom and doom thing, and it's weird. It's gotten obnoxious. But yeah, I think this announcement has been dope. And like you said, just seeing the different talent up there and just thinking about the first All In, the first ever All In, and the lineup that was there, and just look totally different. It just shows how much the company has grown, just how much things have changed. Yeah, it's exciting time. Excited for the show, and you have All In London next week, and then have All Out in 3 weeks.
I don't want to talk about
it.
Shaping up.
I've seen how they're shaping up. I've seen some matches that might be coming together, and I was like,
I don't want to talk about it.
I was like, man, Big Brother said we might be in Madison Square, and I was like, yeah, we gonna be there.
I knew where it was going. That's hella funny, man. But yeah, a lot of good stuff to look forward to. Funny enough, with AEW, we'll get into some more stuff here coming along. But yeah, the All In Texas announcement is very exciting. All the Texas homies are super excited about it. Just like all the American fans that are in close proximity are excited about it. So this is dope. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's also good that it's not as close to All Out next year. It's going to have some space between All Out. Hopefully, All Out will be in the same spot that it usually is in Labor Day weekend next week.
Oh, I thought you were saying Chicago.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I hope if it is here, then it's coming back in the city. I know part of it was the Democratic National Convention, and that's why it got moved. Mm-hmm. So if it is here, I hope it's back in the city and not in Hoffman.
Hoffman, man. Okay, I'm not that disappointed that I'm not going to be there because that's annoying. It's out there.
But yeah, I mean, all of those the Hangman fans that were very passionate about him main eventing this year, I think you've got your time to spend the next year campaigning for the Cowboy to main event Texas. It just makes sense. It just makes too much sense. He should be in a big match at that show, and it's a whole year away. You got a whole year to build this up, but it makes too much sense for him to be a fixture at that show.
Yeah, people have already been fantasy booking this show of, that has to be the culmination of Dustin Rhodes. He should have his last match there. Culmination of Devon Eriks. I'm like, everybody's already getting into their fantasy booking bags. This is crazy, but also super exciting that people know that these stories could be told, and they know that that's kind of how AEW gets down as they tell long-term stories. Really dope stuff. But yeah, Hangman, the talk has, I don't want to say shifted because there's still a lot of people on the side of Hangman should be in the main event, but things have changed this week, I think.
Nah, I've officially moved into it's time for y'all to pipe down mode.
See?
I've officially moved into that mode, man.
I know it was coming.
I gave y'all a few weeks to get y'all discourse off. Y'all had your fun. This is cool. I'm officially ready to move on now. It's time.
I've been wanting to for since the beginning because nobody wanted to listen to what this. Every time they talk crazy about Bryan Danielson, they're like, "Oh, he's just this." They're just giving him I'm like, dude, this is Bryan Danielson you're talking about. You guys, why are you? It legit offends me inside.
Yeah, we'll get into some Dynamite talk in a minute, but yeah, there's stuff from Dynamite and Collision from last week where I was like, yes, it's time, man. It's time to move on.
And then we heard some other talks of what could happen at All Out too. So it's like, this is all just so funny, you guys.
Hey, what you hear might happen at All Out?
There might be like a big cagey thing out there. People be climbing it, like Vegas Street Fighter. Could be some people in there. But yeah, again, we're gonna get into it.
Could be a good time. Could be a good time.
Sorry, y'all. But yeah, submit your super chats, humper chats, all that good stuff. We're gonna get into some of those. Appreciate everybody showing up on this beautiful Saturday morning. It's already a nice number of y'all in here. What's up with y'all this Saturday? It's the Olympics are over, and it kind of feels like I woke up all last week when the Olympics are on. Like legit, I would turn my TV on. They had this thing called the Gold Medal Watch or whatever on Peacock, and it started at 4 a.m. and I would just let that thing play for like 12 hours. And like, I just haven't had that these days, and it's been weird and interesting. And that was a cool way to kind of bring people together. Can we do that all the time? Is there any other ways? I know like when the World Cup happens of soccer and all these other things, there's kind of events like this, but that was interesting how we all kind of came together in these times, especially.
People, a little bit came together. People are still trying to get into the divisive bag.
Came together, you know what I mean.
Yeah. But no, I've been getting up watching the G1, so I wasn't up.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, did you see Snoop in Long Beach doing the whole announcement thing for 2028 LA Olympics? And the whole time I was watching, I was like, man, too bad they kind of ruined it for breaking. This would have been a good place to have breakdancing because LA hip hop. I'm like,
come on. I had known that before the Olympics started that they weren't going to have breaking in LA, and I was what? Like, that doesn't even sound right saying that sentence out loud. Like, how are you not going to have breaking in LA? All those breakers are not going to get the opportunity to do it. But I do understand it was just maybe even a tryout, but you see the impact and what went on here. Yeah, Snoop and Dre actually finished out the Olympics, kind of, leading the way for what's happening next year. And then Dr. Dre gets on talking about he has a big hobby now. He's into archery, and he wants to maybe try out for the 2028 archery in the Olympics. I'm like, what?
I saw that, and I was just like, what? Okay, cool. I guess. Sure. wasn't the hip hop guy that I thought was gonna throw their hat in the ring to be in the
Nope.
Olympics. I thought, if anything, one of these guys was gonna try to do the breaking. It sounds like the breaking thing was a monetary thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was partially licensing the music to use it, and that was
Mhm.
costing them a lot of money. So maybe that's what it was. But
I think they said they got like they only licensed like 50 songs, but the songs that they had were like the most popular hip hop songs of all time. So that means they were very expensive. Licensing 50 hip hop songs that are going to play on the Olympics for billions of people, so expensive. But also shout out to those hip hop people getting that look and getting that love, because they might not ever happen again. Sounds like
absolutely overcharge them for what they did to
straight
the
up.
Crush.
I'm saying, yeah. It's deserved. I hope the Roots got paid. I hope to everybody that I heard a Chaos song in there. I hope all those people got
paid artists. So if that's what happened and you had hip hop at the Olympics, yeah, paid artists.
Mm-hmm. You think Drake is going to make it to 2028, the archery?
I don't know. I don't know.
Drake's like 60 years old. So I'm like, that's 4 more years, big
bro.
dog.
If we're sitting in front of our TVs 4 years from now and Dre is in the archery competition, I don't know what to think of that. That sounds absolutely wild.
I mean, I guess that's like I kept thinking like throughout the whole thing with Snoop and like, damn, this guy was on a murder trial. They tried to kill this guy, and like now he's like
the case.
Hip hop is having representation in the Olympics, and Snoop is the one at the forefront. Same thing with Dr. Dre. Like they try to kill Dr. Dre. He also did some wild stuff. Maybe he shouldn't be representing over here.
He got some wild things on his jacket.
Doctor got a real case. Weird case? Why is he around? Sometimes I'll be thinking.
Yeah, he got some wild stuff on his jacket. But fun weekend of Olympic stuff. I was seeing that in the LA stuff. I was like, man, that is cool for people in LA, but that also sounds horrible for people that live in LA because of traffic and everything.
Dog. When nothing today, it's a regular Saturday. There's a bunch of events going on, but the Olympic is not happening, and traffic is the craziest thing you ever like. Look up LA traffic right now, and you'd be like, "Ew." The Olympics are gonna be there, Phil.
It's gonna be awful.
Dog. That sounds good. When WrestleMania was there, it was terrible, and that's just 2 days worth of events. And wrestling fans, imagine millions of athletes and other people being involved there. It's gonna be terrible. I don't know how they're gonna make it work.
Yeah. I also chuckled at some people finding out for the first time in their life that there's racism in France. There's racism in Paris. I was like, yeah, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. I was one questioning. I was like, I knew that there was racism there. I was just like, there's black people there, because I knew there was so much crazy racism there.
Yeah, a lot of Africans in France and Paris.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, on the low end, I'm telling you, you get to certain parts of Paris, there are a lot of Africans, a lot of black people. That's all you see. Wow. Very segregated in certain spots.
Yeah, interesting. Wow. Where did you go there?
I think I went twice.
Oh, okay.
I know for sure I went in, I believe that was 2015.
Okay, so not that long ago.
About 10 years ago.
Time is crazy, because I said not that long ago, and then you said 10 years ago. I was like, damn, that is kind of a long time.
It's like about 2015, and I think before that, maybe 4 or 5 years before that, where I was just kind of in and out.
Mm-hmm. Did you just go just cause, or was it a certain?
I went just cause the first time. I went to London, and I've never been to Paris, so I took a train to Paris from London. Shit. And the second time I went for my birthday. So
you took a train from London to Paris. That sounds pretty lit, honestly.
Yeah, it's a dope trip.
Yeah, you're getting your shit off, huh?
Yeah, at one point I was doing a lot of traveling. I was doing a lot of traveling at one point, man. That's why I'm like, I got to get my passport.
Yeah, that's why I landed on like your one of your pages that had a bunch of your pictures, and like going through it, it's like, yeah, a lot of your pictures are of you somewhere, and it's like not the same as that. It's because is it wrestling ruining our lives, Phil?
No, it's just time constraints, and then actual money and traveling. Traveling is expensive, man.
But I'm saying when we do travel, we usually travel for wrestling. I'm saying, is that ruining our lives?
No, I just think it's like I said, I just don't get to do some of the traveling I would like to do.
Honestly.
But yeah, it does feel like every time I
crazy
travel,
outside with traveling. Now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to travel for nothing.
COVID made it crazy for traveling, buddy.
And they're trying to get this monkeypox thing off too. I'm like, yo, you guys, let me. I'm just gonna stay here in my bed.
But yeah, send your super chats, Humper Chats via humperchats.com/fightful. Feel free to ramble about your traveling.
Let us know where you've been and if you've been to Petty. And yeah, we're gonna get into a couple of. We always appreciate everybody for your support. Van Twinblade says, "R.I.P. to Alpha."
Yeah, rest in peace to Alpha. Crazy that within the last 2 months we've lost both of the Wild Samoans.
Yep.
Alpha and Seeker are no longer with us. Very sad for that family. It's a lot to be dealing with 2 deaths in the family back to back like that. So, well wishes to them, condolences to them, and, rest in peace again to Alpha.
Yeah, rest in peace to them. It's crazy the time that we are in now because they're the forefront of the WWE. Their family's storyline is the main storyline in the company. And so that whole thing has been in the forefront. But rest in peace to Alpha because even before the Bloodline stuff, I've been hearing about Alpha for years and years because of the people he trained. Like he's trained so many future legends and it's crazy. Like a wrestler, you'll talk to him, where'd you all Alpha? Like it always some connection somewhere. And like his impact that he had beyond being a wrestler, beyond being a part, an inaugural part of this family. After that, in training and inspiring a generation of wrestlers, it can't even be measured. And so when they finally started giving it up to the Bloodline, giving them flowers, I was so excited because I know that he had been getting praised. Him and Sika, him and the whole fam had been getting praised for so long for the things they do beyond, what we see on screen. And so, yeah, rest in peace to Alpha because he made a huge print in pro wrestling, and the things that he did are going to be seen for a long time.
Yeah. Sad, but he's had a big impact on wrestling. And he's lived a long life. Getting to see his family still thrive in wrestling. I think about the Wild Samoan standing at the top of the stage waiting for Roman to come up to give him the lay all the time, and how it's cool that they got that.
Yeah. And Bay Area, shout out to the Bay Area homies. So all of the family, sending love out to them at a time. Yeah, 2 deaths back to back. Some people around here would know some things about that. It's pretty rough out here, you guys. Jesus Christ. Man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to my grandma Rose. Just passed away a few days ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Every time I open my phone, it feels like there's a new thing, and it's a lot.
It's part of getting old thing. I'm coming to that conclusion. The older you get, the more people are leaving up out of here.
Yeah, Grandma Rose, she was in her 90s, so she did it, and this doesn't feel as sad. This is a celebration of life. Her funeral's in a week or 2. I think I'm gonna be a pallbearer. This doesn't feel like the worst thing in the world because it's she was at the point of all right, you guys, I did. I think she had lived in Texas and Mississippi maybe sometime in her life and lived in Bakersfield for a long time. So she experienced it. But still, anytime you hear oh, somebody passed away, it's you guys stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a long life, man. Lucky to get to 90. Hopefully, I can get to that age, but man, when you get to that age, those health issues start stacking up.
Every time I had a couple of grandparents in that age, they're always it's nice being up here, but also all right, you guys, 90 years old. I think about that sometimes too, Phil. Do I want to? That's dog. Think about it now. We're in our 30s. 60 more of these with what we're going through now would be crazy. Appreciate you, Van Twinblade, and rest in peace to Alpha. and love to that family. Leonard Aarons III said, "Word of the day, Saberism."
Yeah, we outside Saber fans. We'll get into that in a minute. Saberism is back, buddy.
Big time. Phil's very excited about that, and we're going to get into it in full here very soon. Tenruza says, Mark Henry is crazy as an Aussie. Sorry about Raygun. Leaving on Monday night from the UK for Australia, to the UK from Australia for Cardiff. All in. Snoop is him. Shaka Khan, please. TK. Tenruza got a lot of stuff in. Sounds like he's headed to All In. Super excited about that. Our homie. You're going to have a great time over there. The Raygun stuff, I'm gonna, I don't want to get fully into it because it upsets me.
Yeah, man. Hey, have a good time in Cardiff and London. If we get Shaka Khan, that would be fire. But yeah, the Raygun stuff is very interesting. I hate that that became the biggest talking point, at least out of the women's side. Because nobody's talking about the actual winners of the women's breaking competition. Nobody's getting into actual good competitors. Shout out to the guy that won from Canada, fellow Phil Wizard, who was the gold medalist for breaking. And again, I wish people would talk more about the guys that and the women actually were good and were winning and would stop getting into this Raygun stuff. There was also some controversy around Raygun. It looked like that. Like there was something about how she controlled the qualifications and how she got out there. And I don't know how much truth there is to that. I didn't do enough research on it. But yeah, there were some great breakers out there. And I hate that people are just getting into this meme and all of the jokes out of it.
Yeah, that's what kind of upset me about it, because after there was a whole day of Raygun stuff, and then the next day I watched the men's finals and I was blown away. Like,
yeah.
The dancing was crazy. It's just two dudes going head to head, like breaking, doing the craziest shit that you've ever seen. While, like we talked about earlier, some of the greatest hip hop songs I've ever played in the background. It was amazing. I was like, I'm so mad that this has turned into a meme, because breaking took so much to even get to this point, and the breaking that's not this meme shit is super dope.
Yeah. Some people are saying that the qualification process rumors are unfounded. That's why I was like, I don't know enough about it. I just saw that there was controversy around it. But again, I just hate that a lot of this stuff is distracted from the actual competition and the goodwill that came from it. And like I said, bro, the guy that won, Phil Wizard, was dope. That guy, he was doing his thing. So again, shout out to him.
Out there breaking, doing it, real shit. Very dope. Chi-Town Spurs says Swerve Strickland is accomplishing a rare feat in his title reign, where every title program he's done feels better than the previous one. If he loses next week, this is a top 2 in the company.
Yeah, I already think he's one of the best AEW World Champions of all time. It's not a really long list, but he's among the top 5 already, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've talked almost every week on this podcast about how this title reign has sent Swerve into a different stratosphere, and it seems like every week we are reassured it even more with just his presence when he's in the ring or in the area of somebody else that's not on that level. You could see it, like it's like, oh shit, like Swerve is something else. We're gonna get into the Dynamite ending and stuff and what happened, but he felt like after he did that at the end of Dynamite, like people were talking about this guy like he was a god. So
yeah.
Very exciting stuff over here, man.
A lot to get into.
Jose Flores says, pull up to y'all in my home state. Bottle of good tequila on me. None of that Dwayne or Clooney garbage. Let the Mexican hook y'all up. Damn, he threw shots at Clooney and Dwayne. That's crazy.
Dang, you're not trying to get into your Terramana bag?
Listen, I'm trying to get some extreme mana, Phil. I don't know about you.
Last time we were together and I had Terramana, somebody said I was cutting up.
I knew as soon as you ordered it, I was like, oh, I know what time we on tonight. We were on that time tonight.
What a funny night, man. There are many stories that I wish I could tell you guys that wouldn't also sound crazy. But I know people would add all of this sauce to things that I just think is funny. And it's just, there were a lot of funny things from that night.
Dog, that night was there's always a lot going on, but there was a lot going on that night. When Phil made that order, I was like, "Oh, we on that type of time?" But yeah, I don't really. Shout out to the homie Jose. I don't really do tequila. I have so many awful experiences in my brain that I can run back, and I'm like, "Oh."
I've had bad experiences with tequila as well. That's why Terramana's not bad. I've had tequilas that are not bad, but you gotta limit yourself because it
like dog
it can get messy.
I haven't even had Terramana because like I have. Like in my brain, I'm just like that one night.
You're not trying to feel them goosebumps. You're not trying to see that hair lift up off your arm.
No, it's all. And every time I say this, everybody gets mad. It's all Patron's fault. Everybody's like, "Yeah, Patron's the worst." One time, I was in the backseat of my cousin's car for some dumb reason, full bottle of Patron. I'm just like downing. I was like 21, so when you do dumb stuff, I just remember downing, and just like being so dead. When you're like, I don't know where I am. I'm dead. Like and was like passed out in front of a garage outside. Like, so like every time I smell tequila, I remember that. I'm like, I can't have any of this.
Yeah, no, there's definitely liquor. There's definitely liquor that I've had bad experiences with. And even when I smell it, I'm like, oh, no, never again. Never again.
Same thing with Jaeger. I took 10 Jaeger bombs on my 21st birthday, and now when I smell it, I'm like,
you was outside. You was going crazy.
I didn't care about nothing, Phil. I'm excited to be here. I did so many dumb things as a 21-year-old, just like,
bro. Me and Graham, for some reason, a friend of the show, Graham from Public Enemies podcast, he tweeted about his regrets of smoking Black and Miles, and I was like, why were we doing that? Like, I'm not even a smoker like that. I find cigarettes disgusting. Like, I hate cigarettes. Like, and I'm not a weed smoker either. But at one point in my life, I was a big Black and Mild smoker, and I don't know why that was a thing.
Oh my God, my brain just exploded thinking of Phil smoking a fucking Black.
This was a thing in college for sure, like all the time. I don't know why, but
it's not shocking because like what Phil's saying here, it was just a thing. Everybody was smoking Black and Miles. That was just a thing. Not weed in it either, like legit Black. No,
especially weed smokers as well. Like, bro, if you were in a certain if you were in a certain circle, and when he said it, it just took me back to that time period. I was like, yeah, why were we doing that?
Smoke a Black and Mild, drink a Four Locos. Like we didn't care about our bodies. Who cares about our bodies? Like we're not gonna make it past 25. Joke's on you. We still alive. Joke's on ourselves.
Leaves that nasty taste in your mouth when you wake up in the morning. Like, yeah, awful. We don't have to do that anymore, man. It's all right. We've moved on from that time period of smoking Black and Miles. I'm sure some people still do it, but I don't.
When somebody's smoking a Black and Mild and there's not weed inside of it, I always like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? But no, it's always funny though, because it's always an old black player, like just like,
bro. I've seen
somewhere.
I had a friend that had like the actual like replaceable tips. He would take the plastic tip off and put his tip on there. I'm like, bro, use that into the game.
Nah, you went too deep, dog. You went too deep if you got the replaceable.
You got your own tip you're putting on there? You not fucking with the plastic tip. Nah.
Nah, you got the custom tip. That's crazy.
Custom tip is crazy, bro. And I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen people still doing the custom tips, and I'm like, bro, this is all right, man.
Custom Black and Mild tip is insane. We too deep in the game, dog. That's crazy. With the Old English, man, I'm telling y'all.
Yeah. That is an ongoing joke with my brother that I've never drank Old English. And he's like, nah, one day I'm just going to pull up and I'm like, nah, that sounds awful.
No, that was my mom's drink of choice. She used to like take them. I still clown her about it now. And like, I think I saw her drink it so much, and like that's another one. Like I never even had a sip of that, but I can smell it, and I'm like, yeah, I can't. I drank a lot of beer, but I've never in my life drank oldie.
Yeah, never my vibe. I'm good.
Phil smoking a Black and Mild is gonna be
there's some
for the rest of the day.
There's some cheap beer that I would never drink. Like I'm good. Like,
did you drink E&J though?
I did not.
Oh, okay. See, I'm like
a little irk and jerk.
You got to see where the blackness is. Like, Black and Mild.
Well, let me correct myself. It's not that I've never drank it. It's just that I don't regularly drink it.
You don't regularly drink it, yeah.
It's just there's like a privileged version of it that's decent, but like that, just the cheapy version you can get, it's not good. It's disgusting.
It's like $7.99 for like a big ass bottle, and you guys like, are you guys ready to die tonight? Yeah.
Yeah, getting your irk and jerk bag. No, I'm good.
Like, no, I've seen people die drinking this. Not like die of drinking too much, like kill somebody because they're drinking this. So
yeah,
like,
there are people that have no idea what we're talking about.
I know.
They have no clue what we're talking about.
It's irk and jerk. E&J, it's a terrible cognac. It's like
very cheap. It's not good.
It's like people upgrade, like you used to drink E&J as a younger person, and you upgrade to Hennessy. It's like kind of like the natural transgression or transition of that drink.
Yeah, but it is Lady B is right. E&J, for most people, when you first start drinking, all of us have had E&J at least once, and
at least once. Fucking disgusting. And it's funny because now I drink my liquor on the rocks, just know nothing, because I'm an adult, and I hate waking up with a hangover. You know, no mixers.
No mixing?
No, not in this big age.
Nah. No fruity drinks, no.
You know how many times I woke up also dead from sugar rushes of those nasty, disgusting drinks, thinking of Smirnoff. Oh, see, I almost did it right there. Smirnoff Ice, dog.
Smirnoff, Smirnoff Ice, bro.
God,
that's up there with another one. That's up there with. Nah, I'm good on those.
Just like the indigestion, like I could feel it right now inside there. It would just like it would just sit right here, like in your diaphragm. Oh God, disgusting. I like we just had a 5-minute conversation about E&J. That's how our podcast is. Y'all thought we didn't have a black podcast. That's what this is.
Nah, man. Graham bringing up Black and Mild this morning was very fun.
Dog, Phil smoking a Black and Mild is gonna fuck me up. If you have pictures or anything, please send them to me.
I'm sure there are no pictures of me.
Visual representation. No, because by the time it used to be, before cell phones and going viral and things were as popular, when you get to Black and Mild smoking time, ain't no cameras out.
No, that was the flip phone era.
Yeah. And it's too dark to get pictures because we're smoking a Black and Mild outside, dog. Like, what do you mean?
No, and the where I was at and things I was doing at the time when I was smoking, I didn't want pictures taken. No,
look, that's why I don't understand the game now. When everything's just shown, I'm like, bro, we used to
you can put your phone down. We don't need to see. It's cool.
We used to like the moments where you couldn't have the phone. Like, do not record this, dog. Put your phone down. It's crazy. Yeah. The places that are, that's really fun. I mean, Phil is from Chicago, you guys. Don't forget. Tenruza says the handover LA for 28 was great. Snoop, Dre, Chili Peppers loved it. Hope to see you in Tokyo, Reg. Phil, pull up as well. That contract tampering.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, I don't know about LA for the Olympics. It sounds fun, but also sounds like too many people.
I was gonna say I could drive over there, but that sounds like the dumbest idea of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna try to, at least be in the area. Maybe I'll get my archery on too.
Throw some axes. Throw some axes at a board.
I could maybe do that. That could maybe be my event. What could be my event? It's gonna be the Summer Olympics. I'm trash at all the track and fields. When I used to do track and field in school, I used to be trash, man. It wasn't really my deal. You be out there? Are you athletic, Phil?
Nah. Pretty uncoordinated.
Nah.
Like no, I'm not very athletic, and I never really went out for sports like that. So
right.
Well, you take that back. I did go out for basketball.
I mean, you're black. You have to.
But also, that fits everything you know about me. I'm a big basketball fan.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, I tried out for basketball.
I wasn't the super most coordinated kid, but I love playing basketball as a youth. And I was chubby kid, so like people would always try to get me into football, but I'm like, dude, it's just weight. It doesn't have anything behind it. Like I'm not gonna be out there trucking people. Like
yeah,
they would never listen to me either.
Yeah, I made the team, when everybody makes the team and they don't cut anybody. But I that was it. That was my only experience with trying out for a team and actually playing. But
yeah, no, I mean, and like all that time I had like wrestling, so I really didn't care about sport. I was just like, dog, I'm trying to power bomb somebody. I don't want to, But another story for another day. That's why they should have pro wrestling in school.
They do have wrestling in school.
Pro
wrestling. That you want them hitting each other with chairs and stuff.
I mean, teach a little psychology, teach the game.
Teach some psychology.
All right, today we're gonna learn about psychology and blading your forehead. Van Twinblade says, Chitin, is that how you say it? Chitin, the dumb person that's always on my social media for some reason.
Who's that?
Chitin gonna beat the hell out of SRS and I'ma laugh. It's like a big mascot. You've definitely seen it on your phone.
I guess Google, so I don't know what that is.
No, like you've browsed Twitter and you've seen this Chitan or whatever it is. A gazillion.
Yeah, I see it now. I just didn't know what the name of it was.
Yeah. I was gonna say you definitely have seen this. It's annoying.
Yeah, I just didn't know what it was called. I've seen it everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Coy Stalling says the reason it's July 12th is the MLB All-Star game is that week, so that's probably why AEW changed to July. Much love, guys. Keeping up the good work.
Yeah. Regardless, looking forward to some wrestling in the summer. Stadium show, that should be a blast in Texas. Hopefully it's not that high.
Where's the All-Star game going to be? Are they going to do like a collab thing?
Is Koi saying it's in the same stadium?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is there a coordination? But you said hopefully it's not gonna be. It's gonna be so hot.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that part.
Texas, it's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hotter than WrestleMania season.
Yeah, because I mean it's still April in Vegas. It's gonna be hot in Texas.
It's gonna be so hot in Texas. We're gonna have to be inside the whole time, you guys. I'm gonna get that ugly sweat. Terrible. Tenruz also says, pumped to see Dynamite Collision, Rev Pro, Progress, see Mega Ran at Wembley, Box Park, and seeing Wrestle Talk, guys. Insane time ahead. Reg, go to All Out. If I could, I would. I can't afford it. That sounds like a hell of a time, Tenruz. There's a lot going on. There's a Fozzy and Swerve and Flash Garment show out there too, isn't there?
What a collab. What a connection. How did we get there?
Hell of a connection. I don't know. Fozzy, Swerve opening up for Fozzy, just like, huh?
Yeah,
like,
that's
those
funny.
fan bases even mix, Phil?
No, I guess wrestling brings them together. I don't know.
And it's like all in. Like it's not just like a regular Fozzy show. What could that be? Jay Holler says, I hope the All In location change means the other pay-per-views that have been in the same place will be considered for other big cities.
Which ones?
I think most people are upset at Double or Nothing. They've been trying to get it out of Vegas since the beginning. Like, leave us alone, dog. It's in Vegas.
Well, man. It might be a chance that it might not be in Vegas this year because WrestleMania is in Vegas. So maybe it might not be there.
You're right.
Because WrestleMania is going to be there in April and then Double or Nothing's in May. So it might be moved. I don't know.
That's not a long time from each other. I didn't even think about that. Where are they going to move it to? I mean, they could move it to another gambling place like Atlantic City or I know. Even saying it
was a downgrade.
Like I couldn't even say it all the way out loud. I was like, oh, I don't want that.
That's a downgrade,
selfishly,
buddy.
I want it in Vegas every year because like Vegas is down the street. But like I understand like every pay-per-view doesn't have to be in the same location, but I understand why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's been successful. Like I'm tired of y'all, but it's been successful for All Out,
Yeah.
Coy also says Hanger deserves the main event spot on the big stage All In next year. He's one of the best storytellers in wrestling and my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, no, he's one of the best characters in the entire company. One of the best storytellers. Easily one of the best homegrown guys, if you want to consider him that.
I would.
Yeah, I would think next year you've got to be making big plans for him. And Devon Erics makes sense too. If Devon Erics are going to stick around with Ring of Honor.
Right. Yeah. They need to start leaning more heavy into that movie that they have out. I know it's wild, but I think they could bring a bigger connection. There's a long time to develop that, but I think it's going to happen. Hangman, is amazing, and I think in the next week he's going to sell a lot of people on him and Jeff Jarrett having a match. It's going to be funny. Is he going to sell you, Phil?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder what he's doing though, because they haven't really fleshed that out yet.
A match with Jeff Jarrett? What you mean?
Can't do that.
Why not?
Can't do that.
They've been telling that story
at All Out.
Mm-hmm. No, at All In.
I mean, at All In. That's at Wembley Stadium. You're doing Jarrett versus
Hangman versus My World.
Nah.
What else story are they telling from Hanger?
Something else other than that. And, hey man, I like Jarrett, man, but nah. I'll see it.
I'm a big Jarrett fan, like the ultimate finesser. Shout out to Chris Bay. But
big fan of him getting his bag. Man.
All In? Hanger? Like Phil said, maybe one of the best homegrown stars that there's ever been in this company. But Jeff Jarrett hasn't earned it though, Phil. Devil's advocate.
Of course he's earned it, man. He's a legend. Went all the way to Japan in a white outfit to beat Hogan.
Love it.
One of the greatest things ever. Every time that clip pops up on my timeline, I sit and watch it and laugh at it. It's one of the greatest wrestling clips of all time.
Mm-hmm. When Terry slowly gets up and he's all bloody, I love it.
Bro, it's hilarious. Everything about it is hilarious, man. When other people are trying to intervene and stop him, he basically turns around like, "Yeah, you want some of this?" Pushing people over and continues to beat them up. What a guy.
Double J. But Wembley, I don't know, Double J. I don't know. Not against Hangman. Like, you should be there. But like in a high stakes marquee match against Hangman Page?
Nah.
There's some ways to go with Hangman Page. Pac still doesn't have a match. Like, Ricochet might be outside.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I assume Ricochet might be in a gauntlet match, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's probably the best. You think Pac's going to be in the gauntlet match too? It sucks because he was trying to tell the story. He's been telling the story of I want a big match at the show, and they haven't given him a big match at the show.
Why would Pac be in the gauntlet match? He has a title match.
He has a title match.
That's kind of weird, but
you're right.
But
not a world title match? Because remember, Darby just did that same thing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think they should do that.
Me neither. And of course, that's Mox's match to win. So, Van Twin Blade also says people saying Scientology Tom is going to carry the torch. Not sure if it's a joke. If he is, how much Scientology BS is the ceremony going to have? I don't.
Dog, when I picked up my phone and I saw Tom Cruise jumping off the rooftop and coming down, I was like, "Yo, what is happening? What is he doing?"
Dog, why is the homie always jumping from something? Like, it's only, I'm like, when Mission Impossible is being filmed, I understand, but he just be doing it just because. Like, Tom Cruise is here and he's strapped in. I'm like, why is he strapped in?
I don't know why. When I turned, when I saw the clip, I didn't have the audio with it, and all I immediately thought was, "Hillary Banks, will you marry me?"
Straight up, because the first thing I see is like it's a picture of him like looking back and like over the horizon. I'm like, what is going on here?
I don't know what that was about. I guess it was supposed to be promoting something, but I was confused by it, and it was everywhere. I was like, what is this?
Well, oh, cool. Tom Cruise is bungee jumping. Why is he bungee jumping? And they not promoting Mission Impossible or nothing. He just jumping. He's just
doing a stunt just to do it. I was like, bro, what?
He's just a stunt man just in real life. I'm like, yo, you could actually also have a stunt man, Tom Cruise. You're like 60 years old, big dog.
Yeah, it's cool. It's all right, man. You can chill out. It's all right.
Oh man, Tom Cruise bungee jumping was so confusing.
That's up there with that Tom Cruise clip and the other Tom Cruise clip of him doing the young jock dance with Vin Rames next to him.
With the glasses on. Tom Cruise is like,
he's been outside for a long time, man.
I'm saying, man. That clip makes me think of the when Jim Carrey's up there with 50 Cent and Tony Yayo, and he does like that head spin thing.
Jim Carrey's another one, man. All time great, man.
Like only he would do that move up there with 50 Cent and Tony Yayo. He's just rocking out. Oh man, too funny, you guys. Last year says Shida versus Moné was Moné's best TV match so far, and it was the first time a women's match opened Dynamite, and it did very well in the ratings.
Yeah, that was definitely a match I've been calling for since she got there. I was like, okay, when are we getting to it? When are we getting to it? So I was excited we got to that. We'll get into that with some of the Dynamite talk, but yeah, I thought the match was fire.
Yeah, that was like when the entrances were happening, and when she just started walking down, I was like, we prayed for times like this, and they're happy. Like it just felt like a big moment, and then the match was awesome too. So yeah, we'll totally get into it here soon. Matt Gray Sky says, "What? Y'all don't want to get iced?" Talking about the Smirnoff Ice? No, we don't. Definitely not.
No, I don't. Man. Nah. What was the other like malt drink? What was it? Zima.
Oh yeah,
Zima.
Zima. Damn, Zima was like,
we're dating ourselves like motherfucker right now.
We are old
Zima,
as hell, dog. I'm just like picturing the Zima commercial. I'm like, Zima was like before White Claws, and like Zima was like that drink. We are 95 years old. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, Zima, boy. Zima was trash.
Dog, Zima was so trash. Why? How? Like the marketing was amazing. Like they spent gazillion dollars because like Zima was everywhere. Awful, god awful drink. I don't know why that made me think of go back there and get me a wine cooler. Norbit is so funny,
bro. Norbit is one of those bad movies that I will accept.
Bad, but
I will accept no slander on. It is hilarious to me. I quote it all the time.
Go back there and get me a wine cooler.
Me and my brother will all the time. Sometimes we'll look at each other and go, "Yep, greasy."
Yeah, it's one of those like really bad Eddie Murphy movies.
Terrible movie.
So funny. I think that's what makes it even better. And like the cast, like, damn. But yeah, I quote that all the time. Go back there and get me a wine cooler.
Nah, Shanika. I was never on a hypnotic train. Also, trash drink.
That's probably like, you know, when your parents have like liquor out and you like try something. That was one of the first thing I tried that my mom had out, and I was all, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life. Like I was like, I was like off of the drinking train, off of drinking. I was like, no, absolutely not. Like if this is what it is, I don't want any of this.
You weren't mixing it with Henny. You wasn't getting your Incredible Hulk on.
Now that's making me think of the next phase of that, Alizé. I did drink a bunch of Alizé though.
Nah, I'm good on that one too. That's a very Cali drink, though. And
that's pretty California, yeah. I think it is California. I'm just thinking of this one time, the homies and I drove the UC Santa Barbara, and the homie drank a whole bottle of Alizé, and he was so drunk. Maybe that is a California thing.
I'm sure.
Anybody outside of California?
He was early the next day. I'm sure he was
not
leaning over the sink and the toilet. He was all over everything.
We were carrying my homie like 3 hours later, like weekend at Bernie's. Like he was just like... He's in the middle, just like dead, and we're just like, this is a podcast of dated references. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, Erlen. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, Alizé, but that's what it was like. It's funny because like we had access to all the we got this, which means we could get other stuff, but we got this.
Dumb kids that did not know better.
So dumb. Matt Logan says, Reg, we get Reg high, some good edibles.
Yeah, man. I'm sure you're going to be roaming a strip during WrestleMania weekend.
Like, I'm always high though, no matter where it is. It could be a place with no weed, and I'm still gonna be high. I probably shouldn't be saying that on camera, huh? That's crazy. Tyrone Kidd says, I can't help but see Phil with them old black mechanics with like them old black mechanics with the black amount hanging off his lip.
Nah, that's those nasty black smokers. Like Shannon, how Shannon had it in his mouth when he did it on Undisputed. That looked crazy.
And Tyrone says, also, Jacob Fatu is a menace out here with the boot on. RMP to Pops. Yeah, we're gonna get into Jacob Fatu too, because like,
yeah, some people that was asking where Jacob was earlier this year. I found out where he was. He showed up. He pulled up. He's here.
Van Twinblade says, "Chi as in cheese, then tan. Cheetan. They wrestle in DDT and has a blood feud with Chris Brooks. They also do GCW spots. And also they have spent at least at minimum $1 million in marketing, because I see that on every page ever.
Everywhere.
And I know how much it costs to buy on social media. It's not cheap.
No, it's not.
And then our last super chat for now is LaRon Ford says, Hangman doesn't have a match at All In, but Jericho does. TK needs to pay for his crimes. Can Pat get a match on Dynamite next week in Cardiff? He should have one.
Why is this Jericho match on the card, bro? I've been thinking that every time I see things for it. Why is that match on the card?
It's so funny because even during his promo, like the crowd groaned when he was like, look, I'll see you at Wembley. And the crowd was like, oh. I was like, damn, the crowd don't even want this. That sucks.
Yeah. We don't need it.
I'll see you at Wembley. Damn, Chris Jericho's going to be at Wembley. Yeah, it's just kind of like this match. We've already like Wembley should be for like we're doing like big matches, big feuds. We're blowing shit off. This doesn't feel like a blow off because we've already seen this match like 5 times, big dog.
You could have saved
not
that
the
match.
Heat behind it like it could be.
Yeah, you could have saved that match for All Out. We didn't need it at All In. It's good.
And you know, Chris Jericho is going to be like, let me get like 20. Like,
bro, if that match goes 20 minutes, man.
Sicko.
Let's get into some of these Humper Chats.
Yes.
Again, humperchats.com/Fightful is the place to send your Humper Chats where we get a bigger cut of the tip. Let's see, from Tony P. You know what's funny? When a black hip hop artist tells you when a white person is doing cultural appropriation and certain people come to try and save their ass, defending them like Lois Lane, Tyler is right, and Post Malone can fuck off with sad stories. Yeah, that was a funny timetable. The Tyler clip popped out, but that was after that clip, an article about Post Malone came out, and Post Malone was saying how he started drinking because people called him a culture vulture, and he was sad and it hurt his feelings. And the whole time I was thinking, all right, but not actually dealing with any of the ramifications of what somebody's calling you and properly addressing the issue and just trying to garner sympathy is exactly what a culture vulture would do.
Yep. And I always think back to one time Post Malone, it was like post White Iverson and pre him getting into whatever he's in now. He was like, there's no hip hop music that'll make you cry. There's no hip hop music
that was a wild quote.
Dog, every time people bring up Post Malone, I think about that. I'm like, this fool didn't even know what he was in. But yeah, anytime people are bringing up that article this week and then they post a picture of him with this grill and the cornrows, and I'm just like, but we can see though, Post. I understand like what happened, but like I was mad when White Iverson came out because I knew what the game was, you know?
I think we all did. But yeah, no, Tyler was right in that clip. We don't have to go in and super elaborate it, but he's right. Yeah. But there was some dope music that came out. I've been waiting for Sean to drop that record with Alchemist that he put the snippet out for. I was like, nah, this sounds fire. And then when he put it out, I was like, nah, this is fire. And the video's dope. Shout out to Sean. All of his music so far that he's put out this year, none of it's missed. It's all been hits.
Damn, I wish they were doing a full project together, honestly, because the full projects that Alchemist has done are all amazing. And this track right here was super fire. So I'm like, damn, if we get a full of this, that would be amazing. But yeah, shout out to Big Sean. He's definitely came to rap this year. I think a lot of his big moments have been shaded or some other extracurriculars have gone on. But this one, he got off, and this one's really dope.
Yeah, we just passed the anniversary for the Control verse, and how nobody talks about the fact that that's Sean's song. They just talk about the Kendrick verse, but it's Sean's song.
That's the best part of Control. Is Big Sean and Jay Electronica rap on this song, but nobody
talks about either of those verses.
I remember where I was. I was working at Sprint, and like I used to work in the back, and so I just remember playing that song and being like, what? You know what I mean? Like, good times. Kendrick has done that a bunch of times. This year he did that.
Yeah.
What a great.
More from Tony P says, now these are my picks for Petty of the Week. Iman, my girl, sue all those bastards and take as much as you money. Yeah, man. Get all their coins, buddy.
Everybody. Everybody who was talking shit online, get them.
Yeah. Hold them. Just like the cartoons holding them up. Nah, man. Get all your coins.
Every last time.
Speaking of bastards, Dom, you know. Speaking of bastards, Dom, you know you're a heel, right? That man had Paul shook for his soul. Shook his soul. I love when bad things happen to assholes. Who shall win it? Nah, Dom needling him in that clip was so funny to me. It's easily the best thing Dom has ever done. He could tell that he was riling him up, and he just kept going. Very, very funny.
Yeah, you know, there was talks of a long time of Dom and if he's a big heel and all this. After this, he's on my list very high. When him been like, oh, can you even go to Japan? I was like, oh no, Dom's cooking.
What's the last time you've been? You know, they got a great before you cut him off. Like, oh.
I'm like, and that little smirk that Dom has the whole time, like, oh no, Dom's one of those guys. I like this.
Nah, the whole time I was like, this little jackass. You can see all over his face.
Like, yeah, just like the little smirk of like, I'm egging you on your platform and everybody seeing this.
Nah, that was very funny. I don't know if that was planned or what, but God, that was funny.
I'm like, I don't know, because I kind of feel like, because people are like, Logan was super uncomfortable, but I'm like, also, he kind of wasn't.
I could see it.
He could have been like acting.
I could see it being a bit, but either way, it was very funny. More from Tony P says, for wrestling, can't wait for Zack Sabre versus Tsuji. Need to go back and watch the last couple of Konosuke matches and catch up on 5 stars. I heard Anna's doing well, and Sai seems to have found herself as a heel now. Also, I need to see these Tavon matches from the N1. I haven't seen any of the M1. I also haven't seen any of the 5-star Grand Prix, but yeah, no, they put Anna through the ringer, man. Those pictures she showed this morning of her chest with like the whelps, I was like,
I saw the video. I was like, yo,
yeah, I saw both. They were giving it up with them chops, man.
At one point, Anna's like, get off of me.
Get off.
But shout out to Anna. She's legit looks like improving with every single match. So this has already worked.
Yeah, she looks like she belongs. But of course, he says Tsuji and Zack Sabre. And I was like, oh, I did watch that because the G1 has been fire. I saw someone say that for the past month, New Japan has been the best promotion in the world. And I agree. I think the G1 has felt like New Japan is back. It doesn't feel like they're just putting on the good matches. It doesn't feel like just one person is excelling. It feels like they've set up so many things for so many people. Even the people that people are not that big of fans of, like Jake Lee, they came out of the tournament with something make you think, oh man, that might be all right. So yeah, I think so far the tournament has been a big success for them as a company.
I'm gonna say I know it's been a success because I've seen 0 Gato slander on my timeline for the last month.
There's been a lot less Gato slander than you usually see.
Like even Phil saying, like even the stuff that people aren't super into, they're kind of like, all right, I'm optimistic about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this has been the best tournament, man. Probably been the best G1 since maybe 2018.
Damn.
It's been a minute since I feel like this is
high praise.
This is legitimately one of the best G1s I've ever seen.
That's legit.
I mean, a lot of that is because of Takeshita. Takeshita's been fantastic. Easily the MVP of this tournament. All of his matches, besides his last block match, which I'll get into in a sec. I was a big fan of. I expected the House of Torture match with Ren to be what it was, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, even more so. But other than that, all of his block matches were great. His appearance in the quarterfinals was also very, very good. Just to show you how much this tournament did for him, he came out this morning during the semifinals to do commentary, and they did a whole entrance for him to just come out and do commentary in plain clothes, and he got a massive pop. People were excited to see him.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we kind of had an idea that this could happen just because Takeshita's so great in ring, but no, it's even beyond that. Just because the matches have been, he's excelled in every single match, and he's gotten that New Japan crowd really behind him. Everybody that I see talk about him's like, if AEW doesn't knock it out the park when he comes back, it's gonna blah blah blah. So like, he's built something, and it's an undeniable thing too, Philip. Like, no, you have to.
Nah, Tony, you're on the board, man. They mentioned it on commentary this morning. Chris on commentary was like, Tony Khan, they're already asking how you're going to book this guy when he comes back.
Oh my God, on commentary?
You're on commentary, bro.
Yo.
You're on the board, Tony. You got to
get
this right. That. Yeah.
It's not that hard, Tony. You saw, like, put him in these big matches.
Somebody sent him the clip. Like, now you see this?
Saw this? They talking about me?
Yeah, we finished up the B block last Saturday. Last time we were on, David Finlay beat Jeff Cobb. Yuya Mora had the match with Yota Tsuji. Unfortunately, Yuya got injured in that match and had to withdraw for the tournament. Hopefully, he's doing better. I don't know what the timetable is on his injury, but he was definitely one of the highlights of the tournament for me. I came away from it feeling like he's one of my favorite New Japan wrestlers now. So hopefully he gets back soon. Well wishes to him. And that main event was so good all the way up to the end of it. You could see it got a little bit messy towards the end because of the injury, but just an excellent match.
Yeah, hopefully Yuya doesn't have too much time off, because definitely one that excelled in this tournament. There was a kind of something that needed to happen with this tournament with the young lions and the kind of older guard. And I think Yuya was executing that so well into this tournament. So this injury is so unfortunate that it happened.
Yeah, I think Yuya, out of the younger guys, he came out, he benefited sort of the most. I mean, I honestly,
from the full-time New Japan guys for sure, you know.
Yeah, honestly, out of like him and any of the young lions, it's probably him and Bolden Oleg that benefited the most from being in the tournament. Oleg was also exceptional in the tournament. This was a great way to debut him and transition him from a young lion to a full-time guy. Yeah. Guys like Callum Newman, he also looked impressive. That doesn't really show on the scoreboard, but I think when he had the matches, he looked great out there. He looked like he belonged. It's gonna take him a minute to dodge some of these Osprey Jr. allegations. But...
Young Osprey. I don't know. The thing I kind of love about this tournament, though, is exactly what you've been describing here. It's one of the best ones since 2018. When people think of New Japan, they think of big tournaments. They think of big moments like this. And I think this G1 has done exactly that. Like, we'll look back in history and be like, damn, that was like a transitional period in a great way for New Japan.
Right. Let's see. We wrapped up the A block on night 15. We got a solid match from Gabe Kidd and Callum. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Sonata was by far the best match of that night. Those two have great chemistry together. They have had matches before, and neither of them were really competing for anything because Zack already had 12 points. He was already in the playoffs. Sonata was already, I think, mathematically out. So neither of them really had anything to compete for, and they went out there and had this fire match anyway.
Just for the love of the game,
just for the heck of it. And I ended up that ended up being one of my favorite matches of the tournament. Zack Sabre ended up beating Sonata to grab 14 points to lead all competitors to advance to the playoffs and get a bye. Shingo Takagi versus Jake Lee. It was fine. The people that don't like Jake Lee I don't think anything in that match is going to blow you away. I do think the Gabe Kidd match is still easily his best match for the tournament, and they've already parlayed that into a partnership with Gabe Kidd, which I think is extremely funny. When they put the picture up, I was like, okay.
That picture killed me.
Yeah, Gabe Kidd with the big smile. And
why is Gabe Kidd smiling like that?
Everything about it is funny. But now seeing 2 nights of them wrestling as a tag team,
you see
it might be on to something, man. Like they have a good chemistry together. I think Gabe covered for some of the stuff that people don't like about Jake Lee because he's got such a big personality. Might be in for the Mad Bastards. That's a good team to build up for the World Tag League later this year. They also started building up Shota Umino and El Fantasma as a team that could also possibly move on to that tournament. But yeah, I didn't expect that to be the case where we're getting this frickin' frack tag team with Gabe Kidd.
I was nervous for Jake Lee with some of the tournament talk. I'm like, man, people are not very excited, but I think they might have stuck the landing.
Yeah, but yeah, Mad Bastards, I'm in so far. Easily one of my favorite parts of night 15. We had the impending evil chance of making it to the playoffs. He at one point was leading his block with 10 points, and then he picked up a big loss. But then on night 15, he had Shota Umino, who he's been pretty much tormenting for this entire year. House of Torture has been just a nail in his side the entire year. But Shota ended up getting the last laugh. They had all the interference in the world. I was sitting watching this match like, this is insanely overbooked. You had all the ref bumps in the world. You had all of the interference. At one point, Tanahashi ran out there, which their story reason for him to run out there. But it was just so much going on in this match. I was like, wrap it up, B. It's just a lot going on. But when the one ref got taken out and then Red Shoes came in, I was like, oh, okay, I see the vision. Red Shoes is gonna come in and count the pinfall for his son. He's finally gonna get the win over Evil, and that's where it went. A big win for Shota. Of course, he did not move on to the playoffs. He didn't have the impressive run that some people might have expected in the tournament. But I thought that was a good way to utilize him story-wise in this tournament, for him to be the guy that knocked Evil out of contention after Evil and House of Torture were tormenting him all year. I thought that was a good story to tell. I wish that they would have done a bit more with Shota Umino. It seems like that injury is hampering him a little bit, but I thought this was a great way to utilize him. I thought that this was a good consolation prize for people that were hoping he was going to move on to the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought that Shota would be in the position that Yuya's in, but I can understand they're trying to tell a different story with Shota, so I get it.
I thought Shota was going to be in the spot that Ren Narita was in, because Ren Narita racked up a lot of points. He almost moved on to the playoffs, but I thought that was kind of going to be what Shota did. But Ren's G1 run was also very strange.
That's just Ren, you know.
I like Ren Narita. I just think that he's miscast as a part of this stable, man. I just think he's so good as a wrestler, and I just want him to do the wrestling. I just want him to do what he was doing before.
He has a lot of personality too that I don't think gets to show enough in this current position. So it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, but big win for Shota. I do think that he's not quite ready yet. I think that he's with some more season and everything, he's gonna get better. I could see the flashes in this tournament, but he's not quite there yet. There's still a hell of a lot of potential there. But the night ended with one of the biggest upsets of this tournament. Great-O-Khan beat Naito in the main event. Last time we were here, I don't know if you remember, when I ran down the card for this night and we got to the main event, I said, that's an odd main event.
Main event. I remember.
But this match was very good. Great-O-Khan has been incredible in the tournament. Easily been one of the highlights of the tournament, proving a lot of people wrong. This guy used to be a meme wrestler. He walked around with the joke title, and he just beat the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in the main event to pick up his 5th win in a row to end the blocks and advance to the playoffs. Bro, 5 wins in a row alone is crazy. But also, pinning Naito.
Yeah. Y'all had Great-O-Khan fucked up, it sounds like.
No, he looked great. I think he showed that he's a lot more than just a joke wrestler.
Yeah.
He's got sound technical wrestling, and that finisher he does with the face palm into that choke slam, and just the way he sells it, and immediately jumps into the camera and lashes his tongue out. Fire, man. Go figure. A lot of people thought that TJP was going to be the leader of United Empire, but might be Great O'Khan.
Great O'Khan got the personality. We knew it was going to happen. It just needed to establish himself as a real worker, and this tournament really established himself as a real worker.
Absolutely established him. He's definitely one of the other guys that benefited the most from this tournament. He already has like the charisma. He has already got like the character and all the eccentric stuff about him, but he showed in this tournament that he could really work. And he was showing that before this tournament, but this tournament really highlighted it.
That's why the G1's so important, because you see it back to back, night after night. It's like you're forced to see these wrestlers in all different positions, and you can see who can really do this.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the rest of the B block on night 16. Some of the end of this tournament, we didn't know how this would end up because some of these scores were very close. David Finlay was at the top. I figured that David Finlay was going to move on. Not much of a surprise there. He beat El Fantasma to move on. Very heartbreaker because LP picked up the big win over Goto. He had the fire match with Takeshita, and so it looked like his tournament was turning around. He wasn't going to move on to the playoffs mathematically, but it looked like he was going to show that he still had it. I mean, LP is a fantastic wrestler, so I had no doubt about that. But the storyline they're telling about him feeling directionless without his tag team partner, and he's not a part of a stable anymore because he left Bullet Club. Which there's some stuff that happened this morning that I was like, oh no, don't do this
what
to
happened?
me. What? Before I get into that, the match with Finlay was good. They're already planting the seeds that Jado is the problem. Jado, in this match, it was kind of like, all right, you're kind of in the way. They're already planting the seeds that he's eventually going to turn on Jado. Which I think he needs to. I think it's time for him to just either go off on his own, or if he's going to do the tag team with Shota Umino, do that. But it was a good match. David Finlay continues to be a very good heel. His heel work in this tournament, his wrestling has been great. He's been a real effective opposition for a lot of the baby faces in the tournament, which we saw this morning in his semifinals match, but he picked up the win to advance to the playoffs. Goto also lost his match decisively to Hanare. Hanare picked up 8 points and effectively took Big Goto out of the tournament. It was kind of sad because I did hope that Goto could move on, but when he lost that match to El Fantasma, it kind of seemed like it wasn't a good sign. But then, lost his final match to Hanare. Hanare ended the tournament looking strong. It seems like Hiromu might be his next opponent for the Never Openweight Championship. They teased that this morning. That could be a fire match. I also think that the match for Wrestle Kingdom is probably Oleg. I think Oleg makes the most sense as a guy to challenge for that belt.
Right.
That title picture seems like it's perfect for him. But main event was... Sorry, I'm skipping the match that I didn't really want to talk about. Ren Narita took on Konosuke Takeshita, and easily Takeshita's worst match of the tournament. And not because Ren Narita is a bad wrestler, but because it was the usual House of Torture shenanigans. Now, once Evil started losing his matches, he started getting more and more desperate, and the more and more desperate he got, the more and more we saw the House of Torture shenanigans. So the story of this match was that Ren was the last guy after Evil was taken out of contention from House of Torture that could make it into the playoffs. So they put all their chips behind them. They did all of the dopey interference spots. It was super duper overbooked. There were bits of it that I thought were good. The limb work that Ren did on Takeshita and the selling that Takeshita did were both excellent. But I feel like it was lost oftentimes with all the interference and stuff that was happening. If it was just that for the entire match, I think it would have been great.
Right.
But it had all the House of Torture stuff going on.
It's a House of Torture match.
Yeah. But Takeshita defied the odds, beat Ren Narita, and moved on to playoffs. In the main event, we got Tsuji versus Jeff Cobb. Also very, very fun match. Tsuji, of course, moved on to playoffs. But yeah, effectively knocking. Boy, I was sitting there the whole time when all this interference was going on. Like, bro, if Ren Narita beats Takeshita, what are we doing? Yeah, I was ready to cut everything off. Like, yeah, look, we were having fun. If Ren Narita beats Takeshita, I would have been out of here. But Takeshita picked up that win and moved on. And we officially moved on into semifinals. Zack Sabre had a bye because he led his he led his block. I believe that David Finlay also had a bye. Sorry, getting all of the results in front of me, so I don't mix stuff up. So a lot of results, a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
But night 17. Quarterfinals, officially started. Shingo took on Great Khan in a very, very good match. Great Khan, again, continues to show that he's a great technical wrestler. I think the way he worked this match with Shingo was very, very good. But the main event, when I saw that this was the matchup for Takeshita when he advanced to the playoffs, I immediately got excited because their night one match was so good. Easily one of my favorite matches of the tournament. Yota Tsuji took on Takeshita in a rematch from night one, and this match was either on par or better than that match. Takeshita came into the match coming after the Ren match, favoring his knee because Ren worked his knee the entire match. But I really love the story of Tsuji being a guy that won the New Japan Cup. So now he understands the grind of the tournaments. And coming into this tournament experience, he knew to pace himself. And Takeshita, on the other hand, started the tournament hot. He racked up a lot of wins early. And Tsuji was one of the guys he beat early on. And so you saw immediately just how grueling this tournament is with Takeshita because he came in with a knee injury, and that came into play a lot in the match. By the end of the match, you kind of felt like, yes, Tsuji earned the win, but if Takeshita was 100%, this match might have gone a different way. But yeah, very, very good match. The counters in this match were fantastic. That knee strike that Takeshita hit Tsuji with when he went for a Genie Blaster. Incredible match. Just great match. But yeah, that was our quarterfinals. Shingo ended up beating Great Khan to move on to the semifinals this morning, and Tsuji, of course, beat Takeshita to move on to the semifinals. This morning, we got more tag stuff. They did more to basically tell you that they're getting behind the Mad Bastards as a tag team. We got more of Shota and LP as a tag team. I was very, very surprised when they came out and Ragoyaku, and that crowd was super excited to see Shota. I don't know if that was just the after effects of him being the guy that put Evil out of the tournament, and the fact that he was teaming with LP, who's also popular, but that crowd, he got a big pop. I was surprised. I was like, maybe the tournament worked out for him after all.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe it did work.
But yeah, he got a very good reaction. LP got a good reaction. They ended up losing their match again. Sowing the seeds that he's gonna turn on Jado. But after the match, LP was one of the guys that ran Evil off. Evil turned around and he was like, "You trust those guys?" And I immediately yelled, No, stay away from LP. Leave him alone. And the way he was looking off in the distance, like you could see in LP's face, like, hey man, it was different when I was with a stable and I had friends. I was just like, no,
not
don't
these
do
friends,
this.
LP, not this way.
No, I do not want to see him in House of Torture. But I think it's supposed to get us to think that he could join House of Torture, right, or that he could join Hantai. I think the move should be him and Shota joining Hantai. because it just makes more sense. Shota has the connections to Tanahashi. They have similarities. Please don't do this to me. Do not put LP in House of Torture. And it's bad because I can see it happening. I could see that being the one-on-one match that they start building for the rest of the year for Shota for Wrestle Kingdom. LP versus Shota, and LP being a House of Torture guy. I don't want that at all, but I could absolutely see it. But yeah, son of a bitch evil, when he turned around and he did that, hey man, you trust them guys? I was like, no, get the fuck out of here.
You just knew what type of time it was on. I mean, but it'll add some more story to LP, add some prestige, but House of Torture, man.
No, don't do it. Please LP. And he's such a likable guy, man. I feel like they have not really scratched the surface with him as a babyface.
Right.
I feel like it would be too soon to immediately just turn him heel again, because a big part of his story for the past year or so was him having his redemption arc and having the tag team run with Hikuleo.
Right.
I do not want to see him with House of Torture. Please don't do this. But for the main event, Tsuji took on David Finlay, and very, very good match. I think that again, David Finlay has been one of the highlights of this tournament. I did not expect to be saying this coming into it, but even when he came out and his theme music hit, and you could see that crowd rocking with his theme music, I was like, okay, good. So it's not just me that feels like he's got a slapper. Like, his theme song.
You got a banger?
Yeah, nah. His theme song's dope. But yeah, he came out and wrestled a good match. He's put over how devastating his power bombs are the entire tournament. And so now when he does it, it looks like, oh no, he's going to win. He hit Tsuji with this power bomb through a table. There were 2 tables set up, and Tsuji went through the first one, and you could see the way his upper back and his neck bounced off of the other table. It looked very, very nasty. And then when he got him back in the ring, he proceeded to power bomb a few more times, and I almost bit on one of the near falls at the end. I was like, oh, Finlay, and I don't know about Finlay in the finals, but now it would have made my agenda feel even stronger based on the next result. But I did not want Finlay. I think it made more sense for Tsuji to move on because they were already starting to build the possibility of an all LIJ finals. And Tsuji's also building up this accolade that he wants to be the first guy to win the G1 and the New Japan Cup in the first year, in the same year. And so I think Tsuji made a lot more sense. And also the connection to Naito, I think for Wrestle Kingdom main event, it makes more sense to go with Tsuji.
And for the future and history, and we were talking about
younger
guys up. Tsuji's makes a lot of sense.
If you want to go young, the guy out of those guys that you picked that are the new era of the Three Musketeers, he's the most polished. He's the most ready
right now.
So if you wanted to invest hard and give him 2 tournament wins in the same year, I wouldn't be mad at that. That makes a lot of sense.
Probably the time, honestly, too.
Yeah. But the main event, Shingo Takagi took on Zack Sabre Jr. I've been telling you this entire time, Zack is my pick. I was a little shaky going into this match because Shingo has been much, much more aggressive since the Forbidden Door. Even like when we talked about the match he had with Naito in the first few nights, and I felt like, man, he is beating Naito's ass. Like, bro, fight back. And there's been a few matches throughout this tournament where he is just giving it to him. And so coming into this match, I was like, all right, Zack's going to have his hands full. Of course, they've had matches before. They have good chemistry together. This match was very, very good. What you'd expect out of a Zack Sabre match. He was working the limbs, working the knee, working the arm so he couldn't use the pump and bomber. Some of the strikes that he took from Shingo and was just still standing, I was like, I just don't know how you didn't just cave and ball up on the ground and just say no more. But he was taking every single one of these chops and lariats. Shingo still feels like somebody that can be a top guy over there. He's an incredible wrestler, incredibly charismatic. He's gotten that little zoom in that he does and point to the screen over. Every time he does it, I yell with him. It's awesome. But yeah, throughout this match, I I was like, I don't know, this could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of it, I kind of felt like Zach had it though. When Zach hit that Zach driver and he couldn't roll over to catch the pin, it's like, yeah, he's this close. Towards the end of the match, he of course was working the knee. He hit the Zack Sabre driver again. It looked like he was going to win the match with that. But before the ref could count to one, he immediately transitioned into a knee bar for Shingo to tap out. Zack Sabre Jr. is moving on to the finals, guys. And I think this thing's coming home, man.
Yeah.
I think it's coming home. I think Zack Sabre should win this thing. I think it's his time. He cut this promo afterwards, and boy, I was charged. I was charged. He was saying all the right stuff. He was popping his shit. I loved it. At one point he was like, nah, I'm a tournament wrestler. This is what I do. And the one last tournament to check off the box is the greatest tournament in pro wrestling, the G1 Climax. I'm gonna win this. Nobody can stop me. Get the trophy. Shine it up for me. I was like, nah, it's time. Well, he also towards the end of it, reference some stuff with people not being there because he goes, yeah, y'all, all of this worry about who's not going to be here, who's left. You guys have made a big mistake because you're not worried about the one guy that is here. This is not the year of the dragon. This is the fucking year of Saber. Carry on. I was like, yeah, it's him, man. He's the guy. He's the guy. Give him the win. I didn't say this as well. Also in the Tsuji match, I thought a very good nod to Yuya, who got injured in the match with Tsuji. Tsuji did the double underhook suplex he did that Yuya does to Finlay to win the match in the closing stretch, and before he hit the Gene Blast. I thought that was a really, really cool way to finish, and a great nod to Yuya because he should have gotten a chance to finish up the tournament the right way.
Right.
But yeah, great tournament so far. We got the finals tonight. This could very much go either way. I wouldn't be mad at either result because I do think the Tsuji makes a lot of sense, but it just feels like it's Zach's time. I don't want to be that guy that does the whole name dropping thing. But when I was in New York after Forbidden Door, I was sitting there at the table talking to Swerve, and my friend of the show, Emilio, was there, and Zach was talking.
You just dropped all the names. That was like 3 names back to back.
Zach was talking to Emilio about music, and the whole time I'm just like, this is Zack Sabre Jr. This is like the greatest technical wrestler in the world, and I'm just like geeking. LP was there as well, and I like afterwards, like people were saying their good nights and everything, and I shook his hand. I was like, yo, big fan. I was like, I'm ready, man. It's time. It's time for you to go to the Dome and win that tournament. You know how that clip that's always going around of Draymond hyping Katie up and going like, no, that very much felt like the conversation I was having with Zack Sabre towards the end of that. Like, look, nah, this is your time. I'm ready for you to win this tournament. I'm ready. I'm ready for them to finally put the belt on him. And he was like, yeah, maybe. Hope so. It's time, bro.
Humble
it's Saberism time. It's over, man. Give that guy the briefcase. Put the belt on him, man. It's time.
He's like, cool, yeah, Emilio, give me a playlist. I care about music. I don't care about this.
Nah. He was definitely more excited about talking about music.
Cool, yeah, Tokyo Dome. Yeah, what about the newest?
No, but I was just like, nah, I'm ready. Put this belt on Zach. I'm ready. He's been due. It is funny when he said he's a tournament wrestler because when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, what made me a Zack Sabre fan was him in a tournament. I believe either it was him in the Cruiserweight Classic or it was a tournament I saw after that. But no, he is absolutely a tournament wrestler. He has been fantastic in this tournament. This feels like a legendary run, racking up 14 points in the block. We rarely see people have that kind of a dominant run and then make it all the way to the finals. A lot of times when people have a dominant stretch like that, they lose. It's usually to set them up to be the guy that lose, which immediately makes me scared that that's what they're doing here. And he could go to the finals and lose to Tsuji because he is talking a lot. I mean, after he won, you're usually supposed to close the night. They give the wrestler the mic and they cut the promo in the ring. He was like, nah, we'll talk next time when I win a tournament. He threw the mic down and he started really getting into his shit when he got backstage. But again, I'm ready, man. Put the belt on Zach. It's time. It's time.
I mean, your stance hasn't changed from day one. You said I want Zack Sabre Jr. to win this tournament. Now he's here in the finals. He's about as close as you could get to winning this, and he's about as set up as you can get to winning this too. We talked about what this tournament needs to do for the future, the people that needed to be set up coming out of this. I think this finals is a great sign for the future, honestly.
Yeah, very excited for tonight's final match. I think there's going to be a good match. They haven't announced any of the undercard for the show, but I assume they're going to build up more storylines, probably build up more stuff for the World Tag League coming up later this year.
It's crazy that we're already into Wrestle Kingdom fucking season, essentially.
Yeah, it's wild. But again, I wouldn't be mad at either result, but I really want Zach to win.
Both stories are great stories, though. This is like, damn, like either way, you get like a really great story, you know?
Either way, we're getting a first-time G1 winner. Either way, we're getting a historic accolade. This could lead to either Tsuji being the first guy to win a G1 and a New Japan Cup in the same year, or this could lead to Zach being the first ever British winner. Either way, that's a pretty big headline. I wouldn't be mad at either result. But great tournament so far. I've been having a blast with it overall. I think overall, it has shown that there's still a lot of talent in New Japan. It alleviated some of those fears people were having going into this tournament. I mean, even stuff with Naito. Naito's still going to have to put on some better matches to get past some of these allegations of him being washed. But
he has a good cast around him, at least. Like it's not as like bleak as it seemed when people left. Now it seems like, oh no, they got like 5, 6, 7 guys that are ready to get into this.
Yeah, he did his usual Naito thing of starting the tournament slow and then went on that stretch of inexplicable wins. And I thought he was going to go ahead and win out until he lost to Great O'Connor on the last night, which I would have never predicted.
Shout out to Great O'Connor, big win.
Yeah, Great O'Connor, another one. What a guy. What a guy. But great tournament.
Every time he says, I need to like get this image out of my brain, I just like think of Vegas and him
taking shots
and him riding that big thing mascot, the big thing at the big thing. Can't even say it out loud. The big thing.
It was crazy. That was crazy. He definitely had him a run in Vegas that year. But it's, again, this guy came from like eating lemons and doing all of this joke stuff, bro. Like, and that guy just pinned the champion. He just pinned the champion. And last night, well, this morning, LIJ had the match against United Empire, and he again exerted his dominance. And at the end of it, he picked up the IWGP Championship. So it seems like he's staking his claim to an IWGP World Heavyweight match, and it makes sense. He's pinned Naito, so he should.
Yep. It's usually how it works. But he has no shot, right, of winning that?
I don't think he's going to win. I think that's probably going to be a good match. The story of it, of course, is that Naito keeps underestimating him.
Right.
But I do think Naito's probably going to beat him. I don't think Naito's going to lose the belt before Wrestle Kingdom.
You shouldn't, right? I mean, that's the story that they tell at Wrestle Kingdom is this is the guy.
No, you need somebody that's going to be the big draw, the top guy that's going to main event that show. It's going to be Naito. I don't think they're going to take the belt off of him before then. Because who are you going to put it on? And you could justify putting it on somebody, but if that's the case, why did you take the belt off Mox?
Right.
You might as well have just kept Mox as champion going into Wrestle Kingdom if you're going to do that.
Yeah, it feels like Naito's going to be the one.
Yeah.
That somebody's facing there and defeating at Wrestle Kingdom.
I would think so. Yeah, but listen, it's Zach's time, man. Put that belt on.
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story. Put that belt on Zach, man. We're gonna get into some more Humper chats and get into some more topics. But before that, I'm going to hit you guys with a word from our sponsors.
Betonline.ag is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from betonline.ag. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. Betonline AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.ag, that's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
Always bet responsibly, but for all of your sports betting needs, including professional wrestling, BetOnline is the place to go.
Bet online, boy. What you betting on?
Nothing recently. We're looking at somebody in our group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. I was like, Doug, my phone is active right now. There was all kinds of text messages on there. My friends. Yeah.
Yapping.
Yapping. Big yappers.
Big yappers.
Having the same debates we've been having for like 3 years. I look at my phone all the time, you guys, and say, they're still doing this.
One of the most stubborn people I've ever met in my entire life.
I'm telling you, dog.
It's just hilarious to me, man.
I'm like, neither one of these guys are going to back down, I think. And they're not. They haven't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, get your super chats in. Get your humper chats in. Humperchats.com/Fightful for your humper chats.
Mm-hmm. Humpers, humpies. Do we have more humpers? Should I get into some super chats?
Well, we got more humper chats, but you can get in super chats.
Yep. Van Twinblade says she should take JK's house and clean out the mold. Dom is now a face. F Logan Paul.
Oh, he's talking about you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those pictures of JK's wall behind her are hilarious. I don't think that that's mold, but it's just funny that people think
but it's so funny that they flipped it into being that. They're like, look, side by side pictures. Look over here, they didn't have a now. I'm like, all right, you guys.
Yeah, people are like the worst that she's gotten with her political and social takes. Like you can see her house is like transforming, like her views and her darkness is corrupting the house, like a Harry Potter storyline.
Like a fucking witch, dude. So funny. Hey, what's over there says Konosuke needs to be in Okada's side of the C2 kind of classic, and he needs to be the guy to win that title.
Yeah, Takeshita in the C2, man. Oh, that's gonna have some high standards to live up to after how great he performed in the G1.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Tony Khan, you're on the clock, dude. Like this Takeshita stuff's got to do something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they do the Okada match. That makes sense, but yeah, it was also funny. I said that I could see him being the first ever Japanese AEW World Champion, and people seem to not know what I meant. But I think that I think he makes a lot of sense. I also think they should probably just turn him face again because fans like him. I don't think fans want to boo him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, him being a heel doesn't make sense, honestly. Not especially after this. And like people have always kind of wanted to cheer him in AEW anyway. So
yeah, bro. If he's coming back, bring him back with the DDT music that he's been using during the tournament. Just turn him face, man.
Mm-hmm. And he don't need to talk or do nothing. Just let him work, and that's how he wins everybody over. It's crazy. Tyrone Kidd says, "Shout out to Mason Mansour, bro, killing the game with fashion." Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, they're killing it. I think it's dope that they fully committed to that gimmick and they made it work. But at the same time, LA Knight went off and he proved that he never needed to be a manager. And he's proven that he had his worth as a wrestler. And I don't think that it's hurt either of them. I think it sucks that in some ways they took a lot of after effects of a bad decision that had nothing to do with them because they work as a tag team. They work in these roles. LA Knight did not. That didn't mean that it was necessarily a bad gimmick. It just was. It shouldn't have been something that LA Knight was doing.
It's like two things were true. Like Mason and Antara are great, and they should be in this tag team. And LA Knight should not be a manager and be a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like it's But I'm happy it's working out for everybody. I think they are a great addition to the AEW tag team division. I think coming out of Wembley, they should play an even bigger part in establishing what this division is. You know?
Yeah, very funny that they are over there with a co-host that was a fan of them as Maximum Male Models.
Another bit that turned into like a real thing that's extra funny.
Very funny.
Jess Ricardo says, happy Grapsody Day. You both rule. Zack Sabre Jr. for the win. Appreciate that, Ricardo.
Give him that dub. It's time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's over there said, missed opportunity to pair Jack Perry and David Finlay as a tag team called the Nepo Babies.
Don't do it.
I don't think they want to do that.
Well, they're in different factions too, because Jack was in House of Torture. Finlay is War Dogs guy, and they got what, 2 tag teams and 3 now. They've got 3 tag teams in War Dog now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't need to be a gang. Jess Ricardo also says, don't put that evil on me, Philly Bobby.
No, we don't want it. We don't want evil anywhere near our El Phantasma. Leave him alone.
Mr. Best in the World says, Reg, when we blazing up, big Grapsody fan. I mean, whenever. Let me know.
Listen, again, guys, let us know if you are interested in either of those meetups. We are definitely thinking about making it happen.
Yeah, maybe we should do like a poll or something. Where'd you be in? Vegas or Texas? Vegas or Texas? Vegas. We're gonna make it happen. Let us know. And Adrian Carpenter says, according to Fightful Select, Bobby Lashley WWE contract has expired, and with MVP filing Hurt Syndicate trademark, where do you think they both go next?
I think they're heading to AEW. I don't think it's that big of a mystery.
Yeah, I was like, are we gonna like play this? Are we gonna do this? Man, come on, you guys.
I don't think it's a big mystery. I think they're heading to AEW. Mm-hmm. The fact that he's already trademarked it because Twitter detectives and journalists have already done their due diligence.
How do they know this already? How do they do this trademark thing?
So the company that trademarked MVP and the song that he used when he went to Japan, I think it was Ghetto Strong Style. Mm-hmm. That same company also trademarked Hurt Syndicate. Oh, gotcha. And so that's why they linked it.
Easy way to connect it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it seems like that's the case. It seems like, of course, MVP is still going to be linked to Bobby. I hope that Shelton is also going to join him. And if he's with AEW, could get some AEW wrestlers join him. I think that's the way to go.
This is exciting for me, you guys. I think we talked in extensive about Bobby and MVP and WWE, but yeah, kind of under the impression that these guys are going to AEW. Kind of feels like that's the best move for them to make with the climate of the wrestling business, and they both want to continue in wrestling. MVP showed up in Bloodsport. Like, these connections kind of are there and present, but I think it's just a good move for them. It's a good move for anybody that could be maybe potentially a part of the Hurt Syndicate. I have some names in my head that I know in AEW will benefit from it, so I think this is going to be great.
Yeah, I think we both at one point threw out Scorpio Sky, but it looks like they're linking Scorpio with Private Party now based on the stuff from last night, which I thought this segment was funny.
I liked it.
I still like Leo Big Shotty's the one. I think Big Shotty makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, we talked about Scorpio. That was a great promo there last night, and I'm excited to see him with Private Party. Leo is linked with Top Flight right now, so like he's kind of in something, but he could, easily get out of there. But yeah, I'm on the Big Shotty Lee side because I think they need someone that's, maybe homegrown. I guess you could say Lee Johnson's a homegrown. They need somebody that's like as close to homegrown AEW as you can get. And Lee Johnson just represents that. His pedigree, kind of way he carries himself, he just makes a lot of sense for that team.
Yeah, even if it's not just a homegrown, they need a young guy. Because
a young guy.
Mm-hmm. If you're comparing
the Randy Orton and Evolution.
Yeah, if you're comparing the two, yeah, you need the Randy of the group. And I think that Lee Johnson makes the most sense. He's shown that he can work based on the Ring of Honor stuff. He's had some really, really good matches over there. But people were not watching his stuff with Kyle Fletcher. You were missing out. Very good matches.
Yeah. And then it's kind of funny about Scorpio Sky because Lee Johnson is kind of like a younger Scorpio Sky. If you go back and watch when Scorpio Sky removed the mask and just, started wrestling maskless, and like his body, his gimmick, the way that he works, Lee Johnson's a lot of that. So like all these connections are like, yeah, they all make so much sense.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. That's all of our super chats for now. The Hurt Syndicate. How you feel about that name, Phil?
I think it makes sense. It's kind of the best way to get around not being able to use Hurt Business.
Mm-hmm.
I think you still have like the acknowledgement of what it was. I think it works. I think it's smart.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. Legit. Again, I'm excited to see MV. Like Bobby Lashley's going to be great. He's probably going to be AEW World Championship one day. But what MVP is going to do is just, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. Barnett is already teeing up possibly an appearance with Bloodsport. That's exciting. You could possibly get that during WrestleMania weekend. That would be
Pretty
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see Bobby Lashley somewhere else doing something else. I want to see MVP continue to contribute somewhere because he showed in this last run with WWE, they still have a lot to contribute.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just know, like, with the talent in AEW and the young black wrestlers out there that could learn from him and that he's going to help, like, it's going to be great.
What do you think of the other free agency stuff other than Bobby Lashley and MVP?
Well.
We got some more updates on the Lucha Bros stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got the report this week from Dave Miggity Meltzer that AEW could add some time to Ray Phoenix's contract based off now, of course. Now, once this news is everywhere that they're possibly leaving and heading to the Fed.
It's like, well, how do you know that? What does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's the report that came out that they could add time to his contract. I personally don't think they should. I personally think they should just let them go and move on. But I also understand that this is a business, and I understand the people that are like, no, they shouldn't be able to just, leave or possibly be talking to WWE while they're still here. I mean, I personally am not held to any of those stuff because I'm like, it's a company. Once the company's done with you, if they want to release you, they'll release you. So you should get the best bag you want to get, and you should work where you want to work.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hypocritical of us to come on pitching for wrestlers and the wrestlers' rights and all this, and then to come on here and advocate for a company. So it's a hard place to exist in. It's like, if the wrestler can go somewhere else and get a big bag, and you're essentially done with them over here, then you should let them. You know what I mean? I don't want to fight fire with fire of like, well, they're petty and they would do it and we should do it too. So it's kind of a hard line to exist on,
And I don't like it when WWE does it. I've never liked it. I hate it when they did it to Neville and they had him sitting at home for months. I
hate they do the fucking 90-day thing where they I hate all that shit. So it's like,
Yeah.
But on the flip side, also though, like, damn, you guys are talking while you're under contract with me. You're making all this, and you guys are still contracted by me. What the fuck's going on? And then so Tony Khan goes on. Funny enough, I don't know this coincidence. Tony Khan goes on the Dan Le Batard show, and he starts talking about contract tampering and that WWE is still actively doing it, and he believes it. And so this was a thing on Instagram, and apparently Triple H liked a post about Tony Khan talking about contract tampering.
Yeah, I believe it was Sportskeeda was the Instagram account that took the quote of Tony Khan talking about tampering. And yeah, if you look, Triple H did like the post, being out there on the gram being messy.
Come on, dude. And people are like, it's probably fake. It's like, no, it's probably not. Like that's the funny part about it. Is like he himself did this just because he knows what it would do,
Yeah, no, I mean, look, this is what it is. They're hot right now. When AEW started hot, they came out the gate and they were throwing shots and they were enticing people to come there of like, hey man, not having fun over there, you could come over here. And now they're up in there doing the same thing. Hey man, not having fun over there. Send Regal over there and have some conversations.
You guys have a big show in December on December 28th. We'll have a show on the same place.
Yeah, so it's wrestling. This is gonna happen. It's just like people are going to negotiate with other companies. It's going to happen. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I get the business side of it. I get why Tony would be upset with it. But for me personally, I don't see any reason to keep those guys. If you already know that they're going to peace out anyway and they're going to end up over there probably anyway, just let it go and move on.
Straight up. Yeah, I think too much like before, like last week, if you would ask me this and this information kind of wasn't out, I'd be like, oh yes, tack on that time, bro. Like maybe like, but like with the information being out and people knowing exactly what this is, you want to kind of try to keep some goodwill of what wrestlers think is happening over in AEW, and you want people to be like, to want to work here and not think that they're going to deal with the same shit because this is supposed to be an alternative. And if you like, I mean, it could hurt. Lucha Bros showing up in AEW is a big fucking deal. I mean, WWE is a big deal, but it's like we might be in too deep already.
Yeah, and that was my main thing with it, is that if you're trying to not have the same perception as WWE and you're trying to be, you know, alternative and, you know, worker friendly, I don't think you should be playing them kind of games with people's contracts.
And that's exactly what they pitched to us, Phil, when they pitched AEW, that it was going to be worker friendly, that it was going to be different. So it's like, yeah, you know, it sucks. Sucky place to be in.
And I mean, in some ways, I think that they've already proven that they're past that anyway, because they've done other things that are questionable. And I'm sure that they've already added time to other people's contracts. This isn't like it's going to be the first time they're ever going to do it. But I just personally don't like when either company does it. I just think that you should just let the wrestler go and just move on.
Especially if you're not going to use them, dog. It's like the person that's getting fucked up by it is the wrestlers, not to you guys are like playing like the wrestlers are casualties to your war that you're fighting. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that Ray Phoenix and Pentagon are in this fight. It's all about WWE versus AEW. You know what I mean? Like they're losing in this, essentially, the wrestlers.
Exactly. And that is a big point of it. If he's going to stay put and you're going to use him moving forward, fine. But if you don't have any plans for him, you're just trying to tack on that time just so he won't go over there. Nah, I don't think that's wise. I don't think you should do that.
No, especially like I think there's some special cases. Like if we're talking about some other wrestlers, I might be like tack it all on. But I think what the Lucha Bros represent for this company specifically, how they came into this and what they've done to kind of help the brand. Like, I don't think you would even like, you know what I mean? Like punishing them. Like you can't, like, if that's what you want to do, that's a choice. But like, that's not really a good look for what this team did for this company. You know what I mean?
Nah, I don't think it's a good look. But you know, he'll do, you know, billionaires will do what they want. It's a business.
Phil and I are talking on a podcast on Saturday morning. We don't make those decisions. So
yeah, of course. I'm just somebody that's told you from day one on this podcast, support wrestlers, not companies. And so I'm always going to be like, hey, man, I don't know if you should be doing this to the wrestler, especially when, I don't know, man. It just feels like if they just, this is just based on them thinking that their contract is up at this date.
Right.
And they had already tried to make plans to move on. Know if you need to do that.
But then also like, damn, like as if I'm in AEW, I'm feeling like, well, they get to do all the dirtiest tactics, all the dirtiest shit in the world, and we just have to not because of it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm on this side, I'm like, they can do this, they can talk contract tamper, they can do all the dirtiest moves, and we can't. Why can't we do the same things? Because we're supposed to be the alternative. We're supposed to be represent this. What about our business? So I do kind of understand on that side.
No, I get all of that. I just, yeah, from my personal opinion, I just wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. And I think as fans and consumers and connoisseurs, we get too much locked into this too. Like, we ain't paying nobody's contracts, we ain't paying nobody's checks. Like, I just want to see the homies wrestle on TV. That's all I care about.
That's exactly it. I'm a fan. I'm not an owner, so I don't have to make these kind of decisions. And that's the beauty of this. I can be able to just take my hands out of it and be like, hey, I just want to enjoy wrestling. And as a fan, I just don't have any reason to be like, yeah, I'm with the company. Screw those guys. Nah, I'm good.
You need to stay over here in our company because we're doing this. I'm like, no, we're not.
I'm good.
Hopefully those guys get a big bag. That's all I care about.
Yeah, hopefully it works out for them.
And I've always landed on these guys are luchadors. They're Mexican. They're gonna, like, barring devastating injuries or anything like that, we're gonna see these guys wrestling for a long time. Like, luchadors wrestles for fucking 30, 40 years. Like, even if they don't work out in AEW or WWE, they can still go back home and have great careers. So, like, these are two of the most dynamic luchadors in wrestling fucking history. They'll be fine.
Yep. This is a sicko chat.
Why? Dog, why?
for your audio, for our audio listeners, somebody in our chat said Penta versus Miz. Oh god.
Why? No, you know what this is. I want to go on record again. Lucha Bros, WWE Speed Tag Team Championships. It's happening. Lucha Bros versus Motor City Machine Guns for the Speed Tag Team Championships. Guaranteed.
Oh my god. Please no.
It's so funny. I was watching SmackDown last night, and so Andrade's cooking, but that's like one of his accolades. Now they're like, he's the WWE Speed Champion. I'm like, is that an accolade?
Every time they do that and he doesn't actually come out with the belt, they have to say it. It's so funny to me. Every time they do it. And he had been cooking. He had been cooking on SmackDown. I think the matches he's been having with Mello have been fire. I thought he had a great match last night.
That's what's extra funny about it, because it's ironic. It's like, well, you're showing me that when he wrestles for more than 3 minutes, he's amazing. So why do you have him wrestling for 3 minutes? It's so confusing.
Yeah. This was at least the most I felt like SmackDown.
SmackDown was pretty good, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. They gave us all of the wrestling stuff that, we want. And then they also gave us the storyline stuff and all of the vignettes. I thought opening with Nia was good. Mm-hmm. Having Nia come down with the crown and everything and being presented as a queen. I thought all that stuff was good.
I watched the segment and I was like, that's a fine segment. And people online were like, this is the worst shit of all time. I'm like, what do you mean? Because Pretty Deadly was singing? Like, that's their bit.
I thought the segment was fine. I don't know why people were mad, but the whole point of them singing, that you guys missed it.
That's the point.
The whole point of them singing was Tiffany trying to distract from the fact that she wasn't acknowledging her as champion. Mm-hmm. It was all a deflect. I thought it made perfect sense. But yeah, the tag match was great. The
tag match.
DIY versus Street Profits was fantastic.
Where were they? This was in Orlando?
Yes.
I want to start off by saying the Orlando crowd was fucking nuts. Like, they were like, WWE crowds are loud usually and like in it, but this crowd was like, I guess, Orlando, NXT, all this connection. Like, this crowd was like a hot indie crowd that's like excited for wrestling, and they enhanced that tag match like no other. Like, it was a great tag match, and I knew they were gonna cook. And at first, I'm like, all right, they're going into it. But when the crowd got into it and the wrestlers started going 1,000 miles per hour, like, they might be cooking a 5-star match on here on SmackDown. What the hell is this?
5-star meal.
What is this?
Yeah, I mean, because you're right. The WWE crowd is interesting because they'll get loud for certain things. Like, they'll pop for the entrances and certain segments and certain wrestlers. But
they're waiting for some things in some certain matches.
But they don't always stay loud for the matches. Sometimes they're quiet throughout the matches. And so I was glad the matches last night that were supposed to hit, they got the right reactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the crowd enhanced it a lot. I thought that Street Profits, I'm excited that they got that victory. This match was just like, the Motor City Machine Guns are coming. Lucha Bros are coming. We got to impress them. That's what it felt like. I'm like, you guys impress me.
We do good tag team wrestling over here.
Meanwhile, talking about the Lucha Bros, and we can do it over here. It's fun.
Meanwhile, we're setting them up to face a team that's not really a tag team. That's a thrown together tag team.
I mean, can't all be home runs.
Yeah, but the wrestling on this show was good. I wasn't the biggest fan of the women's match, but can't all be winners.
They can't get it right, dog. I felt like when Naomi and Blair, that Blair's her name, right?
Yeah.
Blair Davenport.
Not B.
when they match went like 3 minutes, I'm like, dog, they still don't get it. Like it still feels like 10 years ago. It still feels like 15 years ago at certain points. And the women's matches are all, I'm like, the SmackDown, they just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just didn't think this was that good. I don't think the matchup worked. I don't know, man. Everybody doesn't have the easiest time working Naomi because she's got the unorthodox offense, and I don't think that they really meshed well. It was just something about the match just wasn't off, and I don't think it's that either of them are terrible wrestlers. It was just something about it. It wasn't hitting.
I'm even thinking of the Jade match last week. That was only 3. Like, it's like they're not spending the time to practice, or something's missing.
Practice.
Practice. But yeah, there's some kind of disconnect, because I feel like the angles are good and like they're telling stories, but when the matches happen, it's like, what's happening here? And these are talented women wrestlers. Yeah. They're not like, bums or anything.
Yeah. But we're getting a trios match next week, which I feel like all of this was the lead up to, and then we're probably going to get the tag match at Bash in Berlin that people were making fun of Jade, saying that she possibly spoiled it.
We all know what this is leading to. It's fine.
Come on.
But yeah, I thought the ending was funny because I was like, okay. At first I was like, okay, we're going to they get so strung up on booking Roman that they only know how to book him one way. So their new thing is like, they only know how to book him to do the hot run in and smash up the bloodline and leave. But that wasn't the full story that they told here.
Yeah, the main event, it definitely, this is the second week in a row that I feel like they were using him like Big Dog Roman.
Right.
And having him do like the babyface come in, run in, and do the house on fire thing, and
run in, raise hell, leave.
Right. I thought that they did this very smart. We pointed out last week that they kept Jacob out of it so that you can have Roman look strong in that first match. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, not even a match, the first segment. And then this week, when you reintroduced Jacob, it made Jacob feel like even a bigger monster because he turned the tide for the bloodline.
Right.
I saw some people
that came through and throttled the bloodline for a couple weeks now.
Yeah. So I saw some people upset that Roman took the loss, but it's not even a loss. He got beat down, but
wait, people
he has to.
That Roman got beat down? This had to happen though.
People were like, they're already making him look weaker as a babyface, but that's the whole point of his character and him turning face. This guy spent 3 years using the numbers game to beat people, and he showed you several times when he didn't have the numbers on his side, he lost. That's what happened here when he didn't have the numbers on his side, and Solo did exactly what he would have done to other people. He got beat down on. That was the whole point. That is leading to him getting the band back together. That's the whole point of all this. I was so confused why people were upset, but
people are like, "Oh, why isn't anybody coming to help?" I'm like, all the stories that they told, you guys are going right into this. Why isn't anybody coming to help them? That's 4 years they told us not.
Some of these Roman people on Twitter were getting in their bag of they're already sabotaging him. They're already sabotaging his face run. It's like,
I did see a couple of like, who is Jacob Fatu anyways? I'm like, damn, we blended here, dog.
This is where we're at.
To a Nepo hire? I'm like, wait a second, dog. What happened here?
We went from where's Jacob to what is he doing here?
Yeah. Going from where is he to what is he doing here is crazy in like the matter of like a month.
Yeah, no, but I thought the segment was good. I thought it was a good way to end SmackDown. SmackDown still very much feels like the Bloodline show. I thought the Cody and Kevin Owens stuff was good. I'm still surprised that some people don't see the storyline that they're building here, because I've seen multiple people. I've seen clips from other people's podcasts. I've seen other takes on Twitter where they're like, this is just a match with no storyline.
Oh my God, like, everybody's saying that.
And I'm like, but there's a clear storyline here. Cody picked this guy. Hey, you guys don't think it's weird that he's picking all guys to have a connection to the elite? Or connections to things from his past. AJ Styles, old Bullet Club leader. He had been everywhere that Cody went before he got there. these guys kept missing each other everywhere. So when he was finally champion, he gave us the dream match that we wanted, the Kevin Owens match. Kevin Owens is good friends with the Elite.
I think that story, what you just said there, also is a thing. Is Cody, because I've seen that of people like, well, why does he keep having matches with people he respects? That's not a story? Why does he keep doing them? I'm like, well,
what do they have in common?
He's also giving people opportunities that the internet says should have more opportunities. He had a match with AJ Styles, who the internet continuously says, why isn't AJ in the main event? Now he's having a match with Kevin Owens, who they continuously say, why isn't he in the main event? So it's like, he's telling you guys 20 different stories, but you're not listening.
Guys, to the point of those two, there's a common thread between AJ, Cody, and Kevin Owens. A big part of what made Cody going over there refreshing is that he was just doing what he did elsewhere on a bigger stage. And so part of him doing that match with AJ is a thing that a lot of the non-WWE crowd was asking for. People have been asking for that AJ Styles match. And
what you just said there, very important, doing what he did on the smaller stage, on the big stage, exactly what Kevin Owens and AJ Styles do.
Exactly. And if Kevin didn't resign, there was a world where that match would have happened over there.
1000%.
So I don't understand that. But also the bigger story that I grinned at when I saw it happening. I immediately thought of Joe Pesci and Casino. How can you grin? How can you grin? I immediately grinned because I was like, oh, this sure seems like what I told you guys last week, because the story here is because people are like, why is he turning down the match? That doesn't make sense. Well, because in character, he's the guy that speaks for the audience, and the audience is asking, what has he done to deserve this match? Yep. And so it makes sense. But the other part of it is, we've seen everything that guy does once he gets into the world title picture. We've seen him betray his friend multiple times when he's in the world title picture. And I think immediately that's what Kevin Owens is trying to not do. He doesn't want to unleash this beast on Cody Rhodes and turn on him. And we saw the first flashes of it last night when he almost did the powerbomb on the apron, exactly like he did to Sami Zayn and NXT. That was very much intentional. A lot of the verbiage he was using, all intentional.
Very telling how he said, he was telling Grayson Waller, you're forcing me to do this. Like, I don't want to be this person, but you're forcing me to do this. And also the way that he looked at Cody when Cody made the save of like, in this situation, I usually beat this guy up. So I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting me in this position that I don't want to be in.
We're getting to the point where the story is Kevin Owens going to do what we all know what Kevin Owens does and turn on an ally, because he's done it so many times. Mm-hmm. And I personally think it's a red herring. I don't think he's going to turn him. I still think that Randy is going to be the guy that turns on him.
Yep. I was thinking about you saying that when I saw Randy and Cody's interview this week. I was like, oh, they're really setting us up hard for this. Just the way that they're talking about each other. Cody's like, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be world champion if it wasn't for you. I'm like, this is all perfectly going with what Phil said.
By the way, Wheatley vodka. I mean, that whole interview, I was like, wait, they got enough product placement for this vodka?
Dog, I'm saying, we see it. I know what y'all are drinking.
Also, everybody that tagged me at the specific part in the interview, I did hear that, and I was like, nah, let him cook.
Which part?
When he asked him about the GOAT debate stuff, and he was like, nah, fuck LeBron. I was like, nah, let him cook.
When I saw Randy Orton fuck LeBron, I did laugh out loud.
Yeah, I chuckled. I was like, I don't always agree with him, but maybe onto something.
I'm like, they're planting these seeds pretty hard for this. This is pretty good. And I think that this also might be a way with Kevin Owens to introduce Sam over to SmackDown. Like, he might be the one to be like, don't go to that side. I know where you want to go and where this leads. Don't do that.
I don't know if you picked up this as well. KO used to wear blue. He had on red last night. I've been pointing out for a while that he could end up on this War Games team with the Bloodline, and people have been telling me that I am jumping the gun with this. I don't think that I am, though. We'll put a tack in that and come back to it later, though.
Totally. There's still some stories to be developed for that. But yeah, I thought this was I probably watched for 3 or 4 Smackdowns in a row, and I think this is the best one for sure. There wasn't a lot of that hanging dead time that they're used to, and I thought that a lot of this really kind of flew together. Oh, also on the main event thing that I thought was super interesting was your boy Jacob was still wearing that boot, and so the story was that we've heard 20 different stories coming out of SummerSlam of, well, when Jacob, he actually was supposed to sell his leg. He was supposed to stay down. That was the point of him leaving. But like, why does he still have on that boot then?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like he's selling now.
You think he would wear the boot now to add on to that?
I think that's part of it.
Okay.
But we'll see. I don't know. It could be that he just needs to wear it because it might be just like minor sprain or something.
Sprain. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But
I mean, he was fucking working in that boot, though.
I thought it made him look even better that he came out there and he did that whole beatdown segment with the boot on. I thought it made him look even cooler.
It did. Yeah. It's like, if anybody can make a boot look cool, it's fucking this guy who super kicked Roman with it. I'm like, all right, I see it. Jacob just like the discrepancy between him and Solo, like when Solo and Roman were locking up, it's like, this is fun. But then when Roman and Jacob were going at it, it's like, oh, I see where we're really going with this.
Yeah. I love the visuals and the story that they did with it because Roman did do the whole slow picking up the Ulafala, and then he put it on, and
right after Alpha passed away, it was a moment for sure.
Yeah, it was a moment where he looked like he was tearing up during it. But yeah, he put it on and he immediately stood back, and it wasn't Solo that hit him. It was Jacob, because the whole point of all of this stuff with Solo is not really the guy. It's Jacob.
And Jacob's been telling you, I'm here to protect Solo. I love you, Solo. Like,
you're my tribal chief. I love you, Solo.
But yeah, I thought that all that was really good. Him slowly putting it on, Jacob coming in, blah, 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 them dragging him, the whole crew kind of get in. Because, yeah, I'm so confused as to why people will be like, oh, they're ruining it already. Like, no, they got to get over Roman at one point. Like, he can't just be, if he would have came in and beat up Jacob too, it would have been all over with.
If he just comes out there and beats up all of those guys every week, there is no story. There is no feud.
No.
And it makes those guys.
Jacob's ass, Jacob would have been over with.
Bro, it would have been everything we always complain about of Cena running out there and beating up the Nexus. Like it would immediately make those guys look like chumps.
Mm-hmm.
So
like,
you got
now Roman is going to beat everybody's ass, but not this time.
No, you gotta build them up, because this is heading to the War Games match. If you don't build them up, then there is no feud. There's no match. You gotta create a reason for Jimmy and Jay to help him.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not losing and he's not getting beat up by those guys, there's no reason for him to reunite with those guys.
And that's what's also been funny, because there was I saw a thread maybe about Jey Uso, and people like, well, what happened to Jey Uso? He fell off, he blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, he's going back to the story though. What do you mean? Like, what do you guys want? I'm so confused as to these people that are listening to. I'm like, they're telling the story to you guys and y'all are not hearing it. What's going on?
Because it's not that they want storylines or storytellings. It's that they want the version of the story that they want, and they want their favorite person to always come out on top and always win.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
It's not story, like you could tell stories, but no, it has to be the story that I'm telling. Because even off this Cody and Kevin Owens stuff, I'm like, there's a bunch of people like, there's no story. I'm like, no, they're telling a story. It's just not the story that you want them to tell. Like, there's a difference between no story and I don't like the story.
Yes. Roman, in order for this redemption arc for him to work, he's going to have to take some beatdowns.
Right.
That's just what it is.
Silly.
We got any more super chats, or we getting into the rest of these super chats?
Yeah, we got a couple of super chats before we move forward. Hey, what's over there says, to add context, Jack should have been in the War Dogs instead of House of Torture. And saw your stardom match recommendation, Phil. Utami is effing cool.
Yes. No, I get what you mean now, but I kind of don't think that War Dogs needed him.
No,
because they already got so many guys that kind of look similar to Jack.
I think Jack got more over in New Japan because he went to House of Torture, and it was in that it was a different like it wasn't the direction. Like if he went in War Dogs, it would have kind of been like, yeah, we kind of expected this. I think.
Yeah, I think War Dogs doesn't need him. I think I would have liked it just for the connection to Bullet Club and him being a part of the Elite, but I think as much as I was against it originally, the House of Torture stuff ended up working out for him.
For him.
Yeah.
In the long run, we'll see. I guess we'll see. Lab Glass says, I get to see Joe Hendry tonight. Besides that, I thought Takeshita should have been strapped up by now. Do you see it happening anytime soon?
I don't know. It depends on what belt you're talking about. If you're talking about the world title, I don't know if that's happening anytime soon.
The world title, I don't know, but another championship? Maybe.
Yeah.
Aaron Busby, our homie, says Jacob kicking Roman with this walking boot is nasty business.
Yeah, no. When I seen that boot come into the screen, and man, I forget every time Roman is away for a while. The way he sells is so funny to me, man. Yeah, he's like one of the most dramatic sellers ever.
He does a lot of dead selling. He does a lot of flop fish selling. He's hilarious.
It's so
his facials, now he has a meme now of him like,
of him laying in the corner. Yeah,
Roman is so funny. But he's good though. That pop when he came out, Jesus criminy, dude. He is very over. Oh, also that LA Knight pop Phil last night. Whew, that brother is OVER. Let me tell you.
I keep telling people that whole talking point of his popularity dying down. I am not seeing any of that. I don't know where you guys are getting that from,
Absolutely
but this guy still seems very over to me. I don't know.
These people, the SmackDown crowds, not just because it was Orlando, like every week when his people go crazy, like they love that shit.
Nah, yeah, he's still very popular.
Like he could still, I think he's still gonna get a world title run. You know, like they still can make it happen. They gotta get to it, but I
don't know if he's gonna get a world title run. But I could definitely see him in another world title match. He's shown that he can work those matches. He's shown that he can work with the main eventers.
He's already had Cody. Did they already work that match?
No, he had the matches with Roman. He had the match with Roman at the Saudi show, and then he had the triple threat match.
4-way, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's in a triple. Was it a triple threat or a 4-way?
I think it was a 4-way. It was like him, KO, Roman, and someone else.
Either way, the multi-man match he was in.
Yeah. But
that was at Royal Rumble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Who else was in there?
AJ.
That's right. Yeah.
AJ, Roman,
LA
Knight, and
KO.
Yeah.
Sorry,
KO wasn't in that match.
No, KO wasn't in it.
He's in the Logan Paul match.
Who else was in it? It was 4 people in it.
We just said all 4 of them, didn't we? LA
Knight, Cody.
Roman.
No.
LA Knight, Roman, Randy Orton.
Oh, Randy. That's who I was saying.
Yeah. Confusing me. LA Knight, Randy Orton, Roman, of course. 4 people. AJ Styles.
I was like, I forgot the 4th one again. Delayed Grass says, Reg, I didn't see it that way. Cody is helping others eat before the company puts the strap back on Roman or Rock, etc.
Yeah, he's doing his version of a world title reign. That's how I've always read this. He's doing his version of storytelling. This very much feels like the kind of storytelling that you wouldn't get on SmackDown. And I think that's why a lot of the Roman fans don't like it, because it's just not what they're used to.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see what you're saying here, Delayed Grass. It's kind of like all the people that aren't going to get an opportunity when it's Bloodline world title shit are getting an opportunity.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
People know what it is. I just think that some people were ready to be down on this Cody reign from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. Because I keep every 2 days somebody has who's a better world champion, Swerve or I'm like, why do we keep doing this?
I mean, it's Swerve, but
it definitely is. But like, why do we have to keep doing this though?
Stop asking. I've already told you. Stop asking.
I just told you last week. Why am I telling you again this week? Ain't nothing changed. And then Jess Ricardo says KO not subtly telling Cody you asked for it. Yeah, that's kind of the story.
Yeah, of course, because he's definitely going to take it too far because he doesn't know how to not take it too far.
That's his story. That's all of our super chats. I appreciate y'all.
That is funny. He is doing the Cody verse. I didn't even think the Cody verse in WWE is funny.
He is. Oh shit. Oh no! I
Cody verse in WWE is hilarious.
That's hilarious, dude. And the way that you broke it down too, Phil, like it's straight up Cody verse shit. It's like, oh, all the elite connect. I'm like, yeah, Cody verse shit. That's so funny. I love Cody Rhodes, man. I don't care, man.
What a guy. What a guy.
Good.
I watched him on Sneaker Shopping the other day, and I was like, man, what a guy.
I watched his,
not like Cody, man.
His weekly ad thing with R-Truth, and they were just like R-Truth. His bits with Cody, like trying to be serious, but also doing bits. I'm like, this guy is really funny.
Yeah. Wheatley, so good, I drink it neatly.
I always think that's the homie Walton Goggins from
Yeah.
I always think that's him. I'm like, damn, the homie got another job. He sounds like him, doesn't he?
He does kind of sound like him. That guy was hilarious. If you've ever watched Vice Principals, what a funny show, man.
Vice Principals and fucking Righteous Gemstones. Like he sounds like he sings on Righteous Gemstones in that. I thought that was him doing that bit, that character on that Wheatley. So
I don't remember which PLE that was, but they kept playing that commercial over and over until it was just burned into my brain. I'm like, bro,
it might have been
enough.
It was like 2 or 3 pay-per-views ago, and I was like, you know what? I might turn this off. I'm tired of y'all.
Enough, bro. But nah, Walton, hilarious, man. That episode where the bodybuilder is across the street from him and he's like making all the noise, and he was like, man, now look, somebody called the Popo. Busted, I'm busted by Lee Russell, who put the cocoa in your ho-ho. Lee Russell, that's Sue. You're busted. You're busted. Fucking hilarious, bro.
He's so funny, man. Like, no wonder this fool gets all the jobs. Like, as soon as he walks in, they're like, you got the job, bro. What do you want? What are you doing here?
Nah, man, that was hilarious, bro. There was a good week after I saw the episode where I kept watching that over and over again. You're busted.
Yeah, that's all of our super chats.
Okay, we got some more Humper chats. Here, let me line these up because I think there are some I missed.
Wheatley.
Fucking Django. From Tony P, he says the opening from Raw was neat with Rhea, Priest, Dom, and Liv opening the show. Loved the main event with Sammy and Braun, and curious to see Braun's new path because he is starting to give off badass babyface vibes. Now, that crowd is eventually going to start liking this guy. When he came out and did the "Where Are My Dogs At?" that is going to be a slogan that is going to be on shirts. They got one.
Yeah, see, the one thing that the WWE universe likes, if you tell us a guy's badass and that guy continuously shows us he's badass and he's running through people, we're gonna like him. I don't care if you try to tell me he's a heel. And you gave him a saying where we can participate. He's out of here. He's so out of here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And he's just getting started, Phil. Like, yeah, he's gonna be the world champion. Like this guy is everything that they think they wanted him to be. They've been looking for a bronze breaker type for a while.
Yeah. They got something in him. He's got a bright future over there.
It's crazy.
More from Tony P says, Pure Fusion Collective makes me want KFC. Why they tease a New Day breakup? We already have suffered enough with E not coming back. Let us have this, damn it. I love the flow of the Randy Gunk promos, how it transitioned into the Punk and Drew scene. Yeah, that's a definite mouthful for a faction title, but
Pure Fusion Collective sounds like somebody that was gonna purchase TNA back in there. I don't know, just like we're interesting, weird ass names. But you know, they're invested in them, and that was viral, so I guess it worked. You know,
yeah,
weird enough.
I think Mia's name is better.
Much better. Is it the stud line or the stud business?
Stud line.
The stud line.
Stud line is very funny.
Stud line is crazy.
More from Tony P says, however, my one issue with the Punk promo is that he said Drew was running from him. I'm like, did you forget you were doing what you were doing a couple of months ago? Punk promos do deliver, but at times there are some holes in the action. Yeah, he stretchered you out, bro. He had you stretchered out in your hometown.
Yeah, I don't think he's scared of you, bro. I think he's been telling you to pull up like all the time. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really, and it didn't even make sense because he's like, I had to trick him to be here, but he's scared of me. But if you had to trick him, why did you have to trick him then?
Yeah, he had you stretchered out, bro. That's cool. It seems like we're getting a strap match at Bash in Berlin, which is exactly what I knew they were going to do. I hope the match is better than the first match.
You think they're going to go strap match to right into the Hell in the Cell at the next show? Or you think
it's going to be 3 matches?
I'm kind of thinking they're going to do the Hell in the Cell match at Bad Blood, or you think they'll put Randy and Cody in there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because I honestly didn't think they were going to get to the Bash in Berlin match with Drew and Punk.
I didn't either. But I thought that they were going to just go straight to the next pay-per-view. But that didn't make any sense to me because you just had the SummerSlam match. I didn't think you wanted to cool this feud for 2 months. So it makes sense.
And with Seth kind of being out of it, they had to like continue this whole thing.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think that the strap match is a good stipulation for their feud. I just, again, wish they would have gone harder in that first match.
And then Punk at one point said, I don't even care about the bracelet. All right. Okay. I see what's going on.
Yeah. He tried to get him with a little bit of the reverse psychology. I don't even want it. Keep it. I don't even want it.
What? I haven't even been thinking about that bracelet. What bracelet? I don't even want it. Bro, you just lost the match because you was over here bullshitting about it.
You lost the match because you got mad at Rollins for putting it on. Like,
but it ain't about that though. Well, what is it about?
It's the principalities.
That's what we going with. All right, man. Okay. Listen, beef is beef, Punk. I get you. I feel you.
Nah, it's just on site at this point. I'm tired of this dude. Been tired of this dude. See, Tony P also says SmackDown, other than the opening promos, Andrade / Mello and the main tag left me wanting more and second guessing if it is worth going to SmackDown here next week, even though those 3 matches are must see for me. Yeah, I mean, see, the thing with SmackDown and Raw is that you're going to have to sit through all of this stuff, like them starting an entrance and then cutting to commercial and then doing all of this filler stuff and then finally getting to the match. It's one of those things that I just don't like about how WWE paces their shows, but it's just, you're going to have to get used to it. That's why I prefer to watch Raw on Hulu, and SmackDown is usually a breeze anyway. It's 2 hours. I can forgive some of that stuff because it's just 2 hours.
And the kind of way that it's on Fox, the way that it flows, it feels a little bit better, but it's still, that thing drives me crazy every time. They did it with Naomi last night. Yes. She came out, they did 20 million things, and then they came. I'm like, why did they do this?
Yeah, I hate it every time they do it.
It's unfortunate. But yeah, I think like Phil's saying, it's kind of hit and miss. Like that crowd last night was super lit and excited and energized for everything, but then you could get a crowd that's not. So like,
yeah. I thought the matches that hit were good though, because I thought we got 3 good matches. I mean, the Waller match was really just a vehicle for the Kevin Owens story stuff, but I still thought it was a solid match. I continue to say that Waller's got it, man. Like
Waller's the guy.
I like Waller a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. How many more Humper chats do we have here before we can move on? We have a lot. See, more for Tony P says, I will say one thing, Mia is a gem and deserves the world. Sorry. Oh, Mia is a gem and deserves the world. What's his name? Her Kindle stick. Kendrick. Yeah, very, very funny. AEW had a very good week and a bad one for the grifters, even with the what AEW could do to Phoenix News, which is a freak out about nothing. Yeah, I mean it's all conjecture. We don't know if they're actually going to do anything.
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
we all are just talking rumors, like always at this point.
Yeah, but I thought Dynamite was good. Opening with the women's match, which is a women's match that I wanted. This is a match that I've been pitching for from the second Mercedes became a free agent, and then when she got over there, I was like, all right, what are we waiting for? Get to this match. Even when I knew, and we had to debate about it, I knew that the big marquee match is the Brit match because of name recognition and all of the star power and stuff, but the match I really want.
The match is this.
Shida. And even in the build in it on Collision, when Shida had to match with Aleia James, and then she cut the promo afterwards where she said, I'm the best, I'm the ace of this division, and I don't have a match at Wembley. So that leaves only one place to go. I'm here for that energy. I'm here for Shida telling you guys outright, I am the best in the division.
It's me.
Because it's the truth. And she got a big pop when she said it, which made it dope. When she came out, during her entrance, she said it again, the ace, and crowd reacted again. I was like, I've been waiting. I mean,
well deserved. She earned it. Like that. Like I was saying, it hit so hard because it's real. Like anybody can say that they're ace, but like if you actually are, then like it's gonna make an even bigger impact. And I think that's what's happening here with Shida. This beyond all that though, when the bell fucking rung, these two ladies were hooping. This was like. When Mercedes kind of left WWE and she was going to start locking it up with these types, Shida was high up there just because of the way that she works. Her offense and defense is so high, and I knew Mercedes locked into all of that was going to be amazing, and that's exactly what these ladies did on Wednesday.
Yeah, I thought the match was as good as I expected. Of course, I wanted more time. I wanted it to be longer, but that's the whole point of this. This isn't the feud. This is just the appetizer. This is just to get you interested in the feud. But I thought
after this, brother, I'm very interested.
Yeah, because the match was great. I thought that they did a great job of continuing to prove why Camille is a necessity to Zach. I thought Camille played her part very well. When she thought that Britt was sitting ringside with the sign again and she beat the fan down, I thought that was very funny. And then she tweeted afterwards because somebody said, "Did you ever find out who that was?" And she was like, "No, they probably deserved it though."
I'm saying somebody got stomped out and we just don't know their identity.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I thought, the match was so good that when Britt finally came out, which we knew she was coming out because you knew that she was going to be back from suspension, I was just kind of like, man, I guess. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still interested in the match at All In. I still want to see the match, but man, when you tease us with this match, though.
Don't tease me with that, dog. You should have had Mercedes come and squash somebody. Now you got my hopes up.
You give me when you wet my appetite, man. You get my tongue all wet for hash, and there's no hash in the refrigerator. It's like, come on, dog.
Thought I was gonna drink some Kool-Aid tonight. There ain't no Kool-Aid up in here. But no, I thought that the match went exactly how we went. I got some controversy this week because I described Britt Baker coming down to the ring.
I did see a Righteous Reg clip in the wild. I saw it multiple times. I was like,
I did too. I was like, wow, there's me in the wild. And people are agreeing with me and not saying I'm a horrible person.
They're not yelling at you?
This is wild.
But yeah, no, this match was very, very good. Somebody pointed it out earlier that this was the first time the women opened the show. And I think that that's, again, a good sign for where the women's division is. Opening with Mercedes. Mercedes still is treated like a big star. They used that commercial with her in it as well this week. And I'm like, man, you can say what you want. They are giving her all of the opportunities to succeed. I mean, even the fact that she was front and center at the announcement for All In Texas.
That's what I was going to bring up. The way that she was been presented, but the way that she's front and center for all the promotions and she's excited to do it. She's doing all the interviews. They're like, this is our star here, Mercedes. Like, yo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's very telling that she knows the game. She's worked at the biggest stage in the world. She knows how to promote. She knows how to promote herself, and she feeds her fans very well. She knows that she has a very passionate fan base, and she never stops interacting with them.
Dude, the way I was just thinking that, like, she responds to all of them on Twitter. Like, she's always replying to their things. She does that after show Instagram live now. Like, she's way more active than she was as a WWE wrestler. It's crazy.
Yeah, she's got the Discord or whatever that she's got them in.
Yeah, damn. I'm like, they are eating like crazy over there.
Yeah. But that's why a lot of her fans are so incredibly loyal.
That's why.
But yeah, this match was very, very good.
Match was
Shida hitting the spots. I thought the finish made a lot of sense. That it was enough to leave the door open for the rematch.
Still makes Shida look strong. She didn't get beat clean.
Yeah. So I am very excited for us possibly getting back to that match. But yeah, we got the stuff at the end with Britt. Britt sauntered down to the ring. Then, she got in the ring and finally tried to lock in a lockjaw, and then she posed for the camera. And I get it. Like, she's shown multiple times. She always knows what a hard cam is. And there's nothing wrong with, turning to the hard cam and then giving them the reaction. But the way it was done and the way she walked down, I was just like,
I know what you're doing and you should do this, but not in this situation. Not
just get to it.
You fucked up what this is supposed to represent. Mercedes and Camille have their back turns. Mercedes has a fucking kendo stick in her hand.
Yeah.
So the thing is supposed to be you jump Mercedes before she hits you with the fucking kendo stick. But you're sauntering to the ring. So she gets in. She forces Mercedes to slowly turn around, still kendo stick in hand. And then Britt just kicks her like she's in fucking Cobra Kai, which is no, dude.
Well, she is the Cobra Kai.
Yeah, she is. She is kind of a connection. But if Mercedes has a weapon, her weapon's gonna beat your kick. You're not a superhuman. You're just Britt Baker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those weapons will never defeat me. I know karate. You don't know karate. You're just playing a character.
No weapons formed against me will prosper.
It was just weird. And then even when she looks into the camera and she doesn't all the way lock it in, but she's at a weird angle, so Camille has to like crawl in.
Yeah,
I didn't. All of it was like, what's going on?
Camille behind her trying to grab Mercedes' leg to pull her out, and it looks like she's on a pause of just pulling her out while Britt is posing at the camera.
Britt's looking at the camera and not Camille, so she's still trying. Like, it's like, dude, what?
Yeah. I feared this every time that we had this debate of that was the money match, and people kept saying that no, it's gonna be Britt that ruins this. And I was like, I think you're right, but I am tentatively excited for the prospect for this match. And now I'm just kind of like, get to it, get the match over with, and move on to some more things.
I knew what the time it was. I knew that the writing was going to be in the wall, but I was hoping that, like, okay, this person's going to be in this big match. It's a big moment for them. Like, this could, if you do great here, then there's more to do. But this person's like, no, I'm burning all this shit down.
Let me ask you this before we move on. Do you think we'd have been looking at all of this stuff if it hadn't also been marred by the outside of the ring stuff with Britt?
That's hard because I'm thinking if she didn't have those 2 weeks off, no, it's hard to, because the backstage stuff is just kind of clouding it all. You know what I mean? I think that's the issue. It's like it doesn't matter because it's here.
Yeah, I think that it's a little bit of both. I think that that we were going well coming out of Forbidden Door, the Dynamite after Forbidden Door. This was hot, and that time when Britt was away because she was suspended, it kind of cooled the feud a little bit. And then when she came back, it was just kind of like, now you've also got people with this awkward look, like, you know how, you walk out the room and everybody's talking about you when you walk out the room, and then when you come back and everybody's looking at you,
stops.
it just kind of has that energy of like when she came back. And now I think everybody is kind of over judging everything that happened in that segment because of the time taken off and the way the stories around why she was taken off TV.
That adds on to it for sure. Just to kind of like, because in story she's supposed to be the baby face, and you're like, well, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really acting like a baby face is what people are kind of saying,
Yeah, and when she did the on-screen promo and she was saying, well, we know you're going to take your ball and go home, I was like, I just don't.
It even wasn't really a baby fist promo. Even the way that she like presenting herself, it's like, well, you're supposed to be this and you're not, though. So.
Yeah. I guess also I'm just not going to root against Mercedes with you.
That's all.
I'm not gonna do it.
Like, I still think there's some stuff there. When Britt was slow walking the dog, the crowd was still hot for her. They still were hot. They still were hot for all the stuff. It's just like, just speed it up.
No, and I mean, us saying all this stuff, it was a very wrestling segment, and I did laugh.
1,000%. It was wrestling all the way to, like I said, she turned around with the.
It was a very goofy wrestling. It was very funny, but I was just like, this could have been just straight to it. That's cool.
That's how it just felt like. As a character, it felt self-serving for Britt. That's all. That I just didn't like it because it was like, you're just this is all about Britt, and that's not what this is about, dog. Mercedes is in there.
Well, because it's the opposite of it's because it's the opposite of what she's supposed to be doing. Because her whole point in her story is that I'm saving this company and this division from you. We've seen this before of an ex-WWE wrestler coming in and making everything about them and not caring about building this division up. You're just here for a cup of coffee. So if that's the case, then get to it then. Don't then do,
like, why are you doing what you said? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you're about Britt and you want Britt to be the one, and you don't care about the division. You care about Britt is what the character is presenting to me,
Yeah. Everything about it just kind of feels off. And I feel, like I said, I don't think that this would have been an issue if it wasn't have been interrupted and she had taken that time off TV. I think those 2 weeks of her not being there, it just slowed the pace.
We probably wouldn't have gotten this angle if she was here for the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? We would have got something else. Yeah. So you're right. I'm agreeing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it is. But yeah,
but it's still a big marquee match. We still got Wembley. I still think they could stick the landing.
I think the match is going to be fine. I think the match is probably going to be good. I just think that the build isn't as hot as it started because it was white hot when they got to Chicago. White hot.
When Britt's music hit and fucking everybody was going ape shit and she walked. Yeah, come on. Like, it could also be, and I don't know if this is an all-in thing in general. It was just too much time between the last pay-per-view and build. It was too. It sounds crazy. Too much time to build a pay-per-view because there's been some extra hot moments, and then we'll get a week that's not that hot, and then we got to rebuild it again. Not just in this feud, and like a bunch of the feuds, you know what I mean, kind of surrounding the pay-per-view. So was there maybe too much time? That sounds crazy to say.
Yeah, it is what it is. Again, I'm still interested in the match, still excited to see what they do in front of big stage. I still think that is one of the big marquee matches for the show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but it seems like all the extracurriculars make me more excited. Like the Shida match made me more excited for other stuff. The match made me more excited for other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was really kind of what I was saying toward the beginning of this. That, man, once you wet my tongue with the Shida feud, it's like, oh man, I want that though. I know why we're doing this, but I want that.
They announced the main event of the August 30th New Japan Strong show. Mercedes Moné is going to be main eventing that.
That's right. She will be facing Momo Watanabe. again, never doubt this woman's star power. Not just anybody is going over there and main eventing New Japan shows. They don't just give any woman the main event for
They
those
don't
shows.
do that at all.
They don't do that. So,
and they're like, before, like, we're not even leaving any mystery. This is the main event. It's like they don't do that.
They said it again during the G1 that is the main event.
Dog.
But that's because, again, you
Mercedes.
stop doubting her star power. But yeah,
Way
I think that's
different.
I think that's going to be fire. I am very much looking forward to her defending the New Japan Strong Belt more and wrestling some more women from Japan and getting some different matchups.
But yeah, that's a funny thing, because remember we talked last week about Mercedes and people are like, her mic, she doesn't need to be talking. Dude, just put her in the ring. She's who she is because when the bell rings, she's one of the best bumpers, sellers, workers there are. That's her bread and butter.
Yeah, it's several things that she does that I know we're supposed to root against her, but there's just several things that she does that I think are very funny. Like the way she runs away is very funny.
Every time I cry. It's so funny.
It's very funny. But yeah, we got a lot more build. I think personally, the main champions have been carrying the build to this pay-per-view. I think
God.
Tony and Mariah has been the best build going. And I think Swerve has done an excellent job building this match with Bryan. I think that he's done a lot of the heavy lifting in this build. And I mean, I know, again, there's still probably discourse from some people that want it to be the Hangman match, but the longer this feud goes on, the more Swerve feels like a big deal. He feels like a big star. It's the same thing we were saying with Mercedes, that he was front and center and all this stuff, and he was doing all the promotion. Just the way they've used him as promotion for everything as champion. And I hate making comparisons, but when you see other Black world champions, that was always kind of my beef, is that, yeah, that guy is world champion, but he never feels like the top guy of the company. He never feels like the guy that they're sending out to do all the media, that they're putting on all the posters and everything.
Putting on the trucks, like just all the extra things.
And Swerve very much feels like that guy. Like he has so much going on outside of the wrestling. And then, like, man, that poster they put up for All In of him shot from below with the dragon flying above, bro.
Come on. Hard.
Fire. He just feels like the guy. He feels like the top champion in the company, and
not just a black guy carrying the belt, a fucking world champion being the world champion.
Yes. But yeah, I think all of the stuff they're doing with him is great. And we said it when he did the JR interview. I was like, man, that's one of those hallmarks. When you do the JR thing, you've arrived. And so getting all that stuff from Bryan's perspective now, getting the Bryan interview from Collision and Bryan saying outright that he needs neck surgery, and the way he said it, and people were like, oh, he's working. And then I was sitting there like, I don't think he is, guys.
No, he's working, guys. That was another thing this week, is I was like, I might have changed after hearing that JR thing. I was like, oh no, man, why would he say that before this big match? And so I like kind of changed my tune, and everybody's like, you guys know how Bryan Danielson be working. He be lying. I'm like, oh, this time I don't know, you guys. Neck surgery is not something to play with. That's not like I'm trying to get this angle. That's not really with his history with wrestling. Like, that's not the one. So for him to even say that means something.
Yeah. So we got that interview. I thought that that interview again continued to create the story around Bryan, that this really feels like it's his last shot. Not in the sense that, of course, it's Bryan. Bryan can get another match, but the story they've been telling is he has gotten match after match, and he keeps either losing or his body keeps failing him. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, how much longer do we really have for him to wrestle at this top level and be able to get that kind of accolade and get this kind of big match? It doesn't seem like it's that much longer. Mm-hmm. And I think they've done a great job of, across his time with AEW, building up that story of making him feel like the underdog. And so that's also part of when we got the stuff last night. Man, doing the video package and covering all of his Ring of Honor career, all of his AEW career, I'm a fan. So my reaction might not be the same as other people's, but I was just sitting there like, man, this guy is really one of the greatest ever. He's one of the greatest ever. Just the amount of great matches he's had over there. Using the Green Day Good Written song, which, if you don't know, Brian has said that if he had a song that played at his funeral, that's the song that he want to play. I thought that was a nice touch using that. Also, if you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine, that's the same song that was used in the montage. And so having that so close is funny. But I thought that was just such a great way to get fans endeared to Brian. Like, man, he has really given a lot to this company, and man, I want to see him get his moment. The main event is going to be very divisive, but I warned you guys. I warned you. I remember somebody told me in the chat when we were talking about this was the match, I don't want to see a face versus face match. And I told you guys then, one person in this match is not going to be the face. The guy that has been telling you his entire time as champion, hey man, if you put me against the wall and you try to take this from me, I'm going to transform into a different me. And he has done that. He has done that.
The thing is that's been funny is like Swerve's character, where his development has been so great, because I think it's a good disconnect of what happened and why the thing that happened this week hit so hard. Is he's told us a few times that, no, I'm going to cripple this fool. His wife and kids are going to see me do it, and they're going to have to carry him out of the ring. Like, this isn't going to be good. But Swerve is so cool is that when he says it, it's like you don't really understand that he's saying he's going to cripple one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and we're not going to see him again. But he's so cool about it. You're just like, yeah, we're in, dude. Top rope, catch a vibe. It doesn't matter. So when he does this week, he got like serious about it, and it's like, oh no, he's serious. He really wants to end Bryan Danielson's career. We like this. We're having a great time. We want to praise Bryan. I want to see him do the yes at the end of the show. And Swerve's like, no, dude, I'm going to end this fool's career.
Look, man, it's the same thing he has been telling you for this title run. If you come for this, what is mine, it's personal. He told you that during the Ospreay feud. Hey, man, this ain't personal to you because you still playing games. But I had to do all of these things to get here. I had to fight to get here. Right. And so I'm not just going to just give it up. Oh, it's just his turn. This guy deserves a moment at Wembley. I'm not going to just give him the moment because this guy is a legend and, he deserves his moment. No, I'm going to retire this dude. If it's me or you, it's you.
That's why when the talk of this week of like, was it a heel move? Was it a no? Swerve has been telling us, dude.
He's been
if
telling
you come for my championship, the rules are off. There is no dynamics. There's no babyface. There's no history. You come for this championship, I'm going to do everything in the world to make sure you don't.
I'm going to do everything in my power to throw you off your game, and I am going to beat you down. I didn't see where that was confusing at all, and I saw
that they played kind of off the Ospreay thing. Because remember when Ospreay grabbed his belt the first time, he was like, "Don't grab my belt, dude.
Stop playing with me
again." And then the next time he grabbed it, house call. And this same kind of thing of like, he's been telling Bryan, "I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna do all these things. Watch me come in with Yuta." But then coming in and finally hitting them with that house call when he's supposed to be giving up with Yuta, I was like, "See, they're establishing these lines, you guys. They're telling us."
Dude, and I think the stuff with Yuta also hits different because we have the years of experience with the Blackpool Combat Club at this point.
Yeah.
If you're a longtime viewer, you remember when Yuta joined the group. You remember him raising up and saying, "Hey, I want to be in this group because I admire you guys," and then getting slapped by Regal and Bryan immediately jumping in your face like, "Hey, what you gonna do about it?" Mm-hmm. And at every turn, he's been tough on Yuta, like, "Yo, if you want to be here, if you want to be in this group, you're going to have to take some beatings." And they have beat this man down. They have jumped him into the group, but it's kind of like he's our guy. We jumped him into this group and we hardened him. And so he's ready for everything. And so for him to sit in the front row and watch somebody else beat him down, it's like, nah, you can't do that. How dare you?
I thought he's
our guy.
They told a good story in the match too, because like I thought that Swerve was just gonna throttle him. I thought it was gonna be a squash, and then there was points where Yuta had him in like a deep 2 count, and I thought the way that they played it was as well because he had him in like those BCC type. You're wrapped up. You're in some Bryan Danielson type things that like you're gonna have to deal with that Wembley, which also is pissing Swerve off because like you bringing this BCC Bryan Danielson bullshit. I want to beat his ass. So I'm going to show you in front of him why you made a mistake. It was a really good storytelling in that.
I thought the storytelling in the match was great. At one point, Swerve tried to lock in a label lock on him.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because he's Brian's young boy, he's going to know how to get
He's
out
been
of it.
training. He's been getting locked in the label lock for the last 3 years.
Exactly. He's been locked in all kind of holes over there. He's not worried about that. That's the best you got. So no, it wasn't like you're going to be able to play Brian's game and beat him. No, you're going to have to actually get violent and beat him down. And that's a larger point to how he realized, I got to beat this guy. If it turns into a technical wrestling fight,
I'm out.
I might not be able to beat this guy. But if it turns into violence, and if I have him off his game by making him mad, by mentioning his kids and his family, that's how I'm gonna beat him. And that's why I don't understand why people don't get that part of it, because people are like, it's a full heel turn. I don't think it is. I think he's outright making the point, like, I will do anything to keep this belt. If I got to do that to keep you off your game, if I got to beat you down, if I got to beat this dude down in front of you to make you mad and take you out your mode, I'm gonna do it, man.
I know it makes you tick. I know that every time you talk about your wife and kids, it brings tears to your eyes. Well, I'm gonna fuck you up in front of those people. Like, what do you mean?
Bro, you just told everybody, you just told the world that you have a neck injury. If I was just a fan, I would be sitting around like, man, I'm clapping for him. I want him to get his moment. I want him to endure all of this and win as champion. No, you're trying to take my spot. I'm not going to just let you come in and take it. You've exposed to me you got a weakness. I'm going to cripple you. Stop playing with me. That's just the story. And so, man, just ending of the match, I thought the finish was brilliant. Doing the swerve stomp, multiple swerve stomps, and then doing Brian's stomps to the face and continuing to beat him down and having the match end with a referee stop. Great stuff. Brian jumps in the ring to save him. And even after that, he gets on the mic and he cuts that promo, and we think he's gone. We think, all right, he's talked to shit and he's gone. He comes back and hits him with the house call. That visual of him doing the yes
ending shot
over Brian on the ground, fantastic, man. I think the build to this is just, it's gotten way better over the last few weeks. I think you had to get past all the stuff like the blood and guts match, but now this build has been tremendous. That promo that Brian cut afterwards.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I continuously forget, because he's so great in the ring. When this guy does a passionate promo, there's not a lot of people that are better on the fucking mic than Bryan Danielson. When it's real, when he's gonna tell a story, when it's attached to something, dog, crazy. This promo was like, I was already sold off of Swerve and, doing the yes over his dead body, but then for him to come back with that, I was like, oh yeah, we're off. Sorry, hey man, but what's going on here?
That promo, because again, he's treating this, and the story of it is like, you guys are still treating this as like it's the yes movement, like this is me getting my moment over there. You're still treating me like I'm underdog Brian. That has never been my story here. I came straight in the door saying I'm gonna kick guys' heads fucking off. So hey, you think you're gonna get underdog Brian is coming in there, and you think you're gonna play these mind games with me, and I'm just gonna come in and play nice with you? No, I'm coming in there to be just as violent as you are. Love it.
Yeah, that's I was stoked for the match. I've never been not stoked for the match, but after what they did on Wednesday with that ending and that Brian promo, I'm like, oh yeah, this is exactly it. And then I think that Brian has added so much more importance. Also, like Swerve is, going to the next stratosphere with his title reign. But I think the importance that Brian has put on him was like, this is my biggest match ever. Swerve's fucking dangerous. He's the champion. Like, he is everything, and it's going to take everything in my will to defeat him. Has made Swerve even more dangerous threat.
Yeah. Again, I just think that just makes him feel like even a bigger deal as champion. And I really would like Brian to get his moment, but a part of me isn't ready for Swerve to lose. I kind of want Swerve to win, but I also feel like the story that they've been building up of what is the adage? We've heard it before. Spite's a great motivator, man. Yep. And staying angry and building up, getting to a place and doing things the same way. it's a great motivator, but it ain't consistent.
Right.
And eventually, the end of this reign should be a guy making him see the consequences of everything he's done. Because again, that is the story of this title run. Is everything he's done at every step of the way. Some babyface comes in like, I don't trust you, dude. Why should I trust you? Like, you're sneaky Swerve. Like, that's what Acclaim was saying. The Hangman has been yelling at for the rooftop. Like, why are you cheering this guy? This guy's the bad guy.
Does that mean Hangman should be the one to defeat him? Because he's kind of been the one being like, I told you motherfuckers that this fool, like, he's not what you guys think he is.
No, but see, that's the other part of the story that Hangman people don't seem to get. Yeah, Swerve took it too far, but Hangman in the meantime has managed to get even worse than Swerve. Mm-hmm. That's his whole character now, is that he's worse. Like, you being mad at Swerve, what that got to do with you beating up with Jared every week? Why are you doing that?
Why is Jared in this?
Why is he in this? Why are you coming out and doing things like spitting at Jared? And no, he's fully immersed in being the bad guy now. Yeah, he has a point about Swerve. He might be right about him in some ways, but he's still the bad guy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I was going into last week. I said, Brian, I think is going to be at the end of the show, but I don't know, man. Swerve could defeat Bryan Danielson. I don't know, Phil. I don't know.
I watched that whole video package, and like I said, this is Brian. I just know him holding up that belt at the end of the night, man. I might cry, man.
Visual,
like, come on, I can't.
Dog,
this is Brian, man. Like
that visual. After that video package, after everything, I was at WrestleMania 30. I saw him do the fucking double up. I was at WrestleMania 35. I saw him fucking be a most selfless wrestler, have one of my favorite wrestling moments ever. Like, I know what he can do. And seeing him, either way, honestly, Phil, might get some tears from old Reg over here, win or lose. Because, like, thinking of him defeated in the middle of the ring and he, like, puts up his boots or something, bro, come on. I can't, like, what?
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. This is Bryan Danielson. Been watching this guy. Like I said, this company, I've said it a million times for the Young Bucks. I've said it a couple times for Kenny Omega, Cody or Rhodes. This company, in the way that it functions, the wrestling exists because of the contributions that Bryan Danielson made. Specifically, Tony Khan watched Bryan Danielson in Ring of Honor, in New Japan, in WWE, in all these places become this inspiring person and inspire a generation to wrestle a certain way. His company is built off of the foundation that Bryan Danielson laid. So this is a huge moment.
Yeah. No, from the second he got there, I wanted to see him win that belt. So
yeah,
I want to see it win it, but I am torn because I do kind of like the idea of Swerve winning and retiring this guy. And if, man, you're talking about 2 weeks coming to Chicago with that belt.
It also kind of messes me up because the real story we've gotten is Brian said, okay, this is kind of like, I'm retiring from being a full-time wrestler. I'm not going to be as active. I'm blah, 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 my kids. But this new information, I can't see you going to get neck surgery and then still wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense.
That's why I think he's telling the truth about not being a full-time wrestler anymore. And again, if this feels like the end, I want to see him as AEW World Champion. I'm sorry.
Me too.
I'm sorry. I know some people are torn on that, and I get why some people are, but
yeah, because I also kind of landed at a place too of after that interview being like, I put it in one of the group chats this week of like, Bryan Danielson said he's beat up. He says his neck's fucked up. He says he's a beat down, broken man. Should he be beating the almighty world champion Swerve Strickland, who was at the top apex of his thing? Like, should a half-beaten man be able to defeat the world champion? But that's kind of been Bryan Danielson's MO coming up here. You know, that's his story. That's Bryan Danielson's number one story is underdog from behind. He's not supposed to be here. That's when he gets a victory.
Yeah. Win or lose, I could not be happier with just where Swerve is. Getting this big match at Wembley. A big part of his career was in the UK. and getting that moment, main eventing this show as champion. But man, like I just keep saying certain things with him that they don't give black wrestlers a chance to do. His goal was to be the first black AEW world champion, and he has exceeded expectations, in my opinion.
Yeah. This is like I tweeted the other day, Bryan Danielson is attached to my favorite wrestling moment ever, WrestleMania 35, Kofi Mania. For another big giant wrestling moment to be happening in a stadium show against, this time the black man is the champion, like dog.
And it's the exact opposite. Bryan was this heel character that was like, well, wait a minute, you're exactly what they said about me. You are a B player. Like, you don't belong here. And I mean, Swerve isn't saying that. He's like, no, I give it up to you, but I'm not about to give my spot up to you.
That's the best part is Swerve is like, you are Bryan Danielson, bro. I know exactly what it is, but you're not getting this belt. And for Swerve to be kind of offended of like, not only are you thinking that this is your big moment, this is your last chance, you're going to beat me, but everybody else is on this ride too. They're all crying for you and thinking that you're going to go have this moment and win against me and win my championship. Hell no. I'm not saying
yeah, but it's the same thing. It's like, bro, you think this is just some foregone conclusion? Everybody's treating it like this foregone conclusion. Like you're just going to ride off to the sunset and get this big celebration off my back? No.
What?
No.
Why should I go and lay down? I'm not. I didn't do everything that I did coming up to win this championship to go lay down for Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, and I've been still mad that you beat me in that tournament where I was having the run of my career. No.
I still need my lick back, brother. Also.
I mean, long story less long, you're in the way.
That's it. Yep.
You're in the way.
Mm-hmm. Like you're having a big moment at Wembley, but I'm having a big moment too, man. I'm main eventing. I'm in the same spots that you are. I still want to be where I still have a career to uphold. I still have years and years to go, and I want to be the world champion, and I want to have big moments by ending your career, dog. What do you mean?
Yeah, bro, I love it. I think that the main champions have been carrying this build. I think that this feels like a big match. It feels like a big match worthy of this card. Tony versus Mariah feels like a big match, feels like a big deal, biggest storyline in the history of the division, I feel like.
Yes, sir.
For all of the stuff you can lob against this company, I think the television has been good and the pay-per-views have delivered. So I have no reason to think this pay-per-view is not going to deliver as well.
And like I just said, looked at WrestleTix yesterday. 50,000 people are about to be up in here. Like it ain't 80,000, but that's still this isn't the World Wrestling Entertainment. This ain't SummerSlam. This ain't WrestleMania. This is fucking a different company, a big show in the UK that's 50,000 people are going to show up to. You guys don't know how giant of a deal that is. And I'm excited about it. And I'm sad I'm not going to be there. But yeah, great build up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, certain things that looks like are building to the match at All Out. Now it's just like, I
don't want to talk about
Sounds like fun.
Pac's like, hey, let's have an amazing match in Chicago. All right, Pac.
Bro.
All right, Pac. Yeah, okay.
Have
an amazing one.
Again, a match that I was like, hey, man, Pac Ospreay sounds like a good idea. How many times have I said that on this podcast?
That son of a bitch. I don't know. I'm still kind of convinced that Max might win, though.
I don't know about all that. That poster they put up for Ospreay with the American flag stuff on the wall with Max on it, that poster's fire.
Whoever's doing the posters for All In is fucking cooking over there. Because that, like you said, the Swerve one was dope as hell, too.
Before we get into our last Humper Chats and Super Chats, what do you think of this week of Max building this story and the heat that he's getting off of this character? He's playing with fire in a lot of ways, man.
Well, last week when we left our podcast, he was really playing with fire because he called Michael Oku a crack baby, I think. So
yeah, that wasn't it.
Probably not the one, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And you know the connotation to that. You have never called a white wrestler a crack baby. Is all I'm saying.
Nah, that wasn't a good look. And if people don't understand why, connotation wise, that's not a good look. Everything we hated about the Triple H and Booker stuff of guys like you don't get to this place and wrestle people like me. It has that same kind of feel to it, and that might not have been Max's intent, but and I him deleting it, I think he shouldn't have tweeted that. But also, like I said, playing with fire, coming out to the Rev Pro show, wearing Hogan's colors, quoting the lyrics from Hogan, and you have people that are throwing around rumors about his political or social beliefs. And that's the person that you mimic, definitely playing with fire.
Yeah, it's like I see exactly what you're doing. I know why, but like I don't want any parts of it. Like I know, I get it. We're leading to Wembley. It's gonna be a big thing, but like I get it.
I think the build has been good. I think most of the stuff on TV, barring stuff on the internet like the crack baby thing, I didn't like. I think the stuff on TV has been good. I think the build to the match on TV, I've enjoyed. Some of the stuff on the internet is it's some of it is a little bit.
There's the line.
We don't need to do that. And like I said, even the Hogan stuff at Rev Pro, I think it's funny. I think it's a great troll, but can those people that really believe that about you, you're playing with fire, man.
You're just adding on you're adding extra receipts to an already book of receipts that they have. So
yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't agree with everything he does, but I think the build has been good, and I think it's going to be worth it when Ospreay beats him.
It's going to end up for a big moment for Ospreay getting the win over him in that position. But yeah, some of it is like, all right, I probably wouldn't have did that, but I understand why.
Yeah, but I also think that people are missing some of the things, like the clear trait of his character as a heel is that he's a hypocrite. I mean, him saying that he's an American hero, but still going to all of these southern towns and American towns and berating the towns and saying, well, you guys suck. I don't mean you when I say America. I mean my version of America. That's a very hypocritical thing to do.
He's also a hypocrite on himself because, like, other people have held that championship and have not went international with it. He's in Mexico. He's in the UK. It's like, well, I thought you were an American hero. Why are you defending that belt everywhere else?
That is also funny. You changing the name of the belt and making it like this big gaudy American flag colors and going, no, international. Fuck all that trite. And then you proceeding to be the most international champion.
It's an American championship, but then he makes it the most international championship in the company. It's just It's good character work. Like, I don't like all of it, but I understand what's going on here.
Yeah, I do think it's been a good build, but some of it is definitely not for me.
But it's going to be good for Ospreay, and if that's leading to what we were kind of alluding to here, of Ospreay wins the belt and then him and Pac in Chicago, just strap your fucking seats in, you guys. Jesus, it's crazy. We're going to get into a few Super and Humper chats and get up out of here.
Yep.
Delayed Grat says, some folks are salty that she's Mercedes now and not Sasha. Others just can't stand black women wrestlers in prominent roles. Bianca's 2K backlash.
Yeah, that's always going to happen. Man, again, just the level of star she is. When they put out that the new version of the Star Wars encyclopedia thing and her characters on the back, I'm like, bro. One of the biggest stars in the company, man, by far.
Just the way, like, anytime you see her, she just feels like a big star. It's crazy. Like, oh, Mercedes, she's huge. Ron Ford said, big match Mercedes is not going to let Britt ruin her moment at Wembley. Come hell or high water, she will drag Britt to a good match if she has to. I believe that too.
No, she's gonna have a good match with Britt. I mean, I feel like it's the same scenario with the Statlander match from All Out, where Statlander is just good enough to get a great match out of this, and I think it's gonna be the same thing.
I feel like they have probably been putting this match together for a while, and by the time it gets there, it's gonna be some heat. Ron also says Britt has a match on Collision tonight. I think they have a chance to add some heat to this feud if Mercedes attacks her after the match.
Collision. Every time I think of Collision, I think of how Tony said the Collision.
Yeah, Britt's going to be colliding tonight, so they probably will add some more heat to the match, especially since they lost those 2 weeks with Britt being gone.
Yeah. Also, based off of Rampage last night, we're also getting Saraya versus Tony again on Dynamite, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
Tony getting bleeped last night. Tony is so funny to me, man.
Tony's one of the best characters in all of wrestling. So, LeRon also says Swerve run as world champ has been nothing short of phenomenal. Win or lose at All In, he has cemented himself as one of the faces of the company. 1000%.
Agreed. And that's why this also kind of doesn't bother me. If Brian does win here, I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the only time we're ever going to see Swerve with that belt again.
No, Swerve has become an AEW franchise player. Like for the next 5-10 years and shit, we're going to be seeing this guy as champion. So
yeah, if this was the audition tape, he's knocked it out the park.
That's why every time they keep being like Hangman, I'm like, dog, we have like 5 years for this feud to keep going. Like we do not have to get to like even if they it doesn't happen in All Out. We have 5 years of these guys going at it. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Lastier says Shida deserves to have a match at All In. In other pay-per-views, she's one of the most complete performers in AEW. Remains over, and her promos have been fire. Yeah, she's improving tenfold on her promos. Like she's already an amazing wrestler, but her adding that extra element to become a better promo is awesome too.
Yeah, her promos have been markedly better. Could always do the Emi Sakura match, even if it's just on the pre-show. Give Emi that spot on the card.
I'm with it, and you know them two are gonna fucking bang. So let's do it. Leonard Aarons III with a very generous super chat. It says, in all my years of watching wrestling, I have had a promotions idea of what Black excellence is. What we are getting with Swerve as AEW World Champion is something I never thought I'd get to see. Love the week's ending. Yes. That's what's crazy about it, Leonard, is like, we've talked about it multiple times on this podcast. For years and years, being a Black World Champion just wasn't a thing. WWE had, Rock and Book and Mark and all these things. And then for a while, there wasn't anything. And then they did 3 like really quick back-to-back ones. And it still was kind of like what we thought the representation and what we thought this could be and the heights it could achieve. But this Swerve reign has shown us that, no, we could be the top guy. You could be on all the posters. You could be in front and center and all this and be the actual representation that the white world champions are. So this has been great.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, what's over there? Says Swerve said best during the Continental Classic. He's a killer. Just push him. He's a killer. Just push him. Yep. Leonard Aarons III also says people don't get it because either they choose not to or they're clinging to what promotion has shown them for the last 20 years what this should look like. That's why I love Swerve's run right now.
Yeah, I love that he's not just a good champion, but he's a complex character. He's not just a straightforward babyface.
Exactly. And then our last super chat is from Vasco, who says Sting and Bryan in the same year would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely feels like this is his last year.
Shit.
I definitely feel like the Tacoma Dome is probably it.
I kind of feel like if you are telling the truth about all this stuff, I want it to be shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, you did it, dog.
Take some time off, bro. It's cool.
Go kick it with your wife and kids. Fucking be that guy, a lumberjack or whatever. But we got it.
Lumberjack.
We got you, big dog. Your resume is complete. And you're going to add another one with Swerve. Like, you ain't even done. Fucking sicko.
Big time sicko. Listen, do not do that sell next week, man.
Brian.
I know he's gonna do it. Stop doing
Brian.
this thing, man.
I hate him, dude, because he prepped us for it already. I hate him. I'm gonna bite on it. So every time.
Is that all of our super chats?
That's all of them. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are dope. Nice number.
Appreciate you guys. Today. Appreciate you guys for the super chats. Gonna get through the rest of these humper chats and get on up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
See, from Tony P says the show had a very good flow. I assume he's talking about Dynamite. The show had a very good flow, even with it being heavy in video packages, which I believe was done because they didn't want that to happen during the Cardiff show next week, which I understand. Yeah, it seems like they're stacking the Cardiff show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're stacking the Cardiff show with all of the must-see matches like the Claudio Okada match and also giving us a women's title match. I think they're trying to give us a lot of stuff to build to the pay-per-view this week, but also give us the action next week.
I like that. I didn't even think about it that way. Kind of tell the stories before the next week you could tell the in-ring stories.
Yeah. Claudio segment with Okada was also great.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Claudio been showing a lot of passion in his promos recently.
Yeah, that was great. I thought the Darby
promo was really
the Darby promo was great. I thought the video package and everything they did with that was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then the beatdown was also really good. I thought that made Jack look great. Jack continuing to be a little shit and beating him down and saying, you only sacrifice for yourself, you self-righteous prick. I thought that was great.
Yeah, no, Jack looked great in this beatdown too, and like him being like, no, I'll kill this fool. I don't care about that is a great addition to it.
Yeah, him immediately continuing to act like he can play this game with Darby. Like, oh, okay, you want to light me on fire? You want to do this? You think you're dangerous? Let's do it. I want to play your game. Put me in a coffin match. I'm like, all right, well, you just sealed your loss. You're going to lose.
You're dead, Jack. Sorry.
Oh, man. That was another thing I forgot that Mercedes did afterwards, after she rolled out of the ring. When she yelled, you're done for like Bailey, I died laughing.
Dude, Mercedes is so good at those little things. Like, you got to catch her little Easter egg sometimes.
Yeah. See, more from Tony P says, the next day, Texas got their wish and will host the next All In. However, the most beautiful thing about the presser was all the black excellence on display. It also has people rightfully fiending for Mercedes Athena main event. The second Athena comes up there, we got to get to it, man. Get to that match.
That's it.
That match is going to be fire.
I don't know if I can wait a whole year. I need it now.
Call JG Whitworth.
8, 6, 7, 8, 9. But yeah, no, I think if we're talking main events, like that's built in right there. Athena's from Texas. Mercedes a huge star. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I hope they have something big for Thunder Rosa as well. We didn't talk about it much, but I thought her bull rope match with Deanna was great.
Fire. I love the old school heat her and Deanna have. There's blood in almost every match. They're beating the shit out of each other. Yeah. I hope that she gets something there too. I want both of them to have something at this year's All In too. Shit. They need to do a women's casino gauntlet too.
Yeah. I think that's the last one from Tony P. He says, so we know we may get Ricochet, Mox, Oku, and possibly Bobby in the gauntlet, but who else do you bring in? Also, you think you get another match featuring the women on the show? Let me end by saying prayers to the NOI family. Yeah, appreciate you, Tony P. I think that the big one that they're building up is Hologram. I think all of this stuff on Collision has been to build him up as someone that fans want to see. And the first time they use him on a big show is probably going to be in a gauntlet match.
You're right.
And I think they're probably going to have him do a stare down with Ricochet.
Have a bunch of guys in. Hologram comes in doing that flashy ass shit, hitting Hurricane Ranas and shit on everybody. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From young Machego, I think that's how you pronounce it. From Young Mancheg Zero, or sorry. I think I'm pronouncing this right. He says, first time in a long time, I've been able to make it to church live. Happy Grapsody, gentlemen. Having Green Day tuned for Brian was both the corniest and most emotional thing I've seen in a while. Swerve is a damn menace in the best way. No, it was a very wrestling thing, and I think that's why I loved it so much. It felt very much like a Brian thing. Even like the backstage stuff, and it had like his big laugh he does. I was like, man, this just feels like the most Brian thing ever.
Fuck me up. It was corny, and also, damn, this is sad.
Yeah, because I mean, immediately I'm like, man, I'm just gonna miss Brian being on TV regularly.
Brian Danielson, but then it also got me thinking of like, we did get this run. Like, he was supposed to retire in 2016, and he's still here.
Yep. Buddy, we get Hologram and Ricochet at All Out. I don't know, man. We already got a lot of flippy stuff because we're getting the Pac Osprey match, probably. I'm guessing, but if we get both of those matches, man,
we're definitely see Ricochet and Hologram at some point.
I think so too. From Victor Patino, here's $5 to make you smile. Appreciate you.
Thank you. $5 does make us smile. $5 make us solace.
$5 make a holler. Van Twin Blade, he says, speaking of con, VTubers and Fua Mocha did a thing called 3D Live, full mocap performance, and they did a bit where they did wrestling moves on each other, including a chair shot. The twin bit was choreographed by DDT Worker. Look for the gifs. I haven't seen this. Have you seen it?
See there.
From Darby Dragon Chick, Zima. Now that's a throwback. Now I really feel like I'm turning 45 on Wednesday. Thanks, y'all. Hey man, happy birthday.
Yeah, a 45-year-old would get that reference. I don't know about anybody other than that though.
Yeah, some youngins might not understand Zima.
Zima.
I mean, I know that they had Zima at some point as a sponsor for New Japan. So some
Did
people,
they?
yeah. This was like recent, like within the last few years.
What? Where did they find Zima at? That's hilarious.
That's why, bro, they would have, like, you know how when they finish the shows and they have the press conferences, and so they have like a bunch of the beards up there. They used to have Zima up there.
They used to have Zima up there.
Yes.
Crazy.
I'm surprised you don't remember
What?
this.
I don't. Is Zima Japanese?
I don't think it is, but I think it's one of those things where it's still a thing overseas, but not so much over here.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna go find a Zima. I'm gonna drink a Zima tonight.
Oh my God, please don't. I think that is all of our Humper chats. Let me just reshuffle to double check.
Zima. Talked about Zima,
What?
EJ.
Why are people saying that Will tweeted us?
Who did?
Why is somebody was like Will's tweet? I didn't see it. But that is all of our Humper chats.
Will Washington? What do you say? I had a dream of one day starting out a live episode of Grapsody Pod with Phil and Reg and myself walking into it like this. Might still happen. Oh, the intro of You Dropped the Bomb on Me. He said might still happen. When's that going to happen?
Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I got it because Van Twinblade says he sent 2. Let me make sure I got them. Okay, sorry. I missed him. He says, oh, real fucking talk. What the fuck is wrong with the IOC doing COVID protection? These are top level athletes who's trained their whole lives for this shit, and now some of these people may be suffering from life altering effects of COVID because of these motherfuckers. Then he says, I think that the pandemic is fucking. They think the pandemic is over. COVID ain't going away. Stupid motherfuckers like the ones that run Missouri want to force us to risk our lives just so they aren't inconvenienced. I've had COVID 3 times and it's bullshit. Ran over. Now, COVID definitely feels like it is back outside. It's definitely a lot more people getting COVID recently. So yeah, please be careful, man, because this virus is not gone. Those people that think, oh well, I got vaccinated and all these other things, yeah, it's some places it's cool. You might want to throw that mask back on. It's cool.
I might put. I'm supposed to go to watch the Queen of the Indies wrestling tonight, and like I think I got COVID at the last time I went to a wrestling show, so I'm gonna put on a mask. I'm sorry, you guys.
Yeah,
pretty much every time I go to a wrestling show, something happens. So like I just have to wear a mask now.
I mean, at this point, it's a trick bag when you're traveling. I feel like it's easy to get sick, even if it's not COVID, like something. Yeah, just in there, a cold or something. But yeah, that is all of our Humper chats. Appreciate you guys as always. Appreciate you guys continuing to support us. No matter how snippy I might get on the internet, or I might not be in the mood some days. I do really appreciate all the support we get.
Always.
We are definitely going to continue to talk about doing a meetup or something. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we're going to get the exact details locked in the next month or two. We'll get exactly if it'll be Vegas or Texas, and we'll let you guys know everything else. But stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. Other than that, you know what it is. This has been Grapsody. We'll be back with Sat from Wrestle Talk to go over this card for All In.
Yep. And I'll be Denise and I are actually going to do that watch along next Sunday for All In. Maybe my friend will join us. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Could Could be asked.
I don't know what he's gonna be doing.
But,
He could be doing something.
But yeah, appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Stay easy. We're out of here.